Ron went live and we can't even see him.
We can't even see him. Is that what's going on?
How are you, Cho? How are you?
Running
welcome
good,
to the panel. Yeah, welcome to the panel.
Fellas.
Ron just left us up here with no devices. So yeah, I don't know what we're meant to do. How'd you feel about last night's games, Cho? How you feel about last night's games?
I was particularly watching San Antonio and Oklahoma City, and watching Wemby. You had mentioned to me, Mars, if you watch him, more games you watch him, the more he's going to improve. One of the things that I noticed watching him, he looks like if you ever seen kids in the yard, you know, the big kid in the yard that's bigger than all the other kids. That's what he looks like to me. He just looks like the bigger kid in the yard that's just bigger than all the other kids. He runs faster than everybody else. He jumps higher. He still hasn't, he's still not there yet in terms of a defender, but I can tell you right now, he's better than the majority of the defenders in the league. I watched him particularly on the perimeter. I watched him close out last night. on Jalen Williams. And one, he closed out too low. So instead of Jalen Williams taking the top side, he ended up taking the baseline. Well, he takes the baseline. Mars, you know how I am about defenders and how I feel about a defender's ability to recover. He covers so much ground. Jalen Williams takes the baseline. Wemby is able to recover and beat him to the spot. He beats him to the spot. Jalen Williams spins. He catches, I want to say Isaiah Joe. He catches him on the back cut. Now, instinctually, a big man, and Big Ox can attest to this, instinctually, a big man knows to protect the rim. Other guards would probably have gone with Jalen Williams. He instinctually is just standing under the rim because he knows that I got to protect the rim. I think it was Isaiah Joe. He had a wide open layup. And Wemby is right there at the basket and just pins it to the glass. That's not something that you can teach, Mars. That's just instinct. As a big guy, I got to stay next to the rim. And once he actually learns how to play, once he understands how to defend, I think that I don't think it's going to be long before we're having a conversation about him being the best defensive player in the game. That's number one, and being the best player in the game. No question. I don't see that as a problem at all, because this kid is phenomenal. I even forgot. I know this sounds ridiculous, but there was a stretch when I forgot SGA was out there because I was so focused on Wemby because I'm watching him and I'm watching what he's doing. He was incredible.
Ox, you see the game? Welcome to the show, by the way. But did you see you're muted, Ox.
What's good? I saw a little bit of it. I didn't see all the game. I only saw a little bit. It was very busy day for me yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I saw a little bit. Man. Yeah, Wemby's impressive. Like we were saying even before the season, we were talking about it, and my biggest thing was his footwork. Just his footwork and, finding angles on defense and not, a lot of times people get beat, not even because, and they can be faster. You can be a defender and be faster than the person you're guarding and still get beat because you don't know how to take angles, you don't know how to angle your body, you don't know how to beat people to the spot. And Wemby understands all of that on defense. Like, I don't think there's really much to teach him on defense other than just getting stronger and getting bigger. But other than that, though, like his defense is anywhere on the court, the way he moves his feet is the most impressive thing to me about his game.
I think there's some trick socks that, once he becomes a vet, he understands like how to keep the ball in bounds, how not to foul, how not to go for shot fakes, stuff like that. In terms of
for sure.
Right, staying on the ground, closing out on the low, when to close out on the low side, when to close out on the high side, stuff like that. That I feel like he's going to learn that as time goes on. But the stuff that he already knows instinctually, it's pretty difficult to teach that. It's pretty difficult to teach a big man who already knows how to be at the rim and how to protect the rim. Like, he's not jumping wildly at shots and fouling guys. He's not doing that. Like, you can't teach him to pin the ball on the glass. Like, he pinned the ball on the glass. He didn't smack it on the glass. Just pinned it on the glass and then took it off. Like, you can't teach that.
There's even things on the defense side that are more basic that you don't have to have instinctually that are still hard to teach. Right. I think I believe defense is hard to teach. And so that's just impressive to me. The one, the block on Chet on that jump shot was a little less impressive to me. And I'm not trying to take anything away from it. It was just like that was a slow ass move, Chet. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute, though, Big Ox. The majority of the bigs in the league, he beats them and gets that shot off.
Yeah, but he was doing a lot of moves. He was doing a lot of moves, and that's the thing, though. I don't really see like he created a lot of space. I was just kind of like, you did this, did that behind the back, and you moved 2 feet. Chet, that's Wemby. You know, that's Victor Wembanyama. You gotta do something. You gotta get further away from him. Like Wemby kind of just moved his drop back, and that's another thing too, Chitchat. He takes those fakes. He takes the moves with his back leg. You know, a lot of people. If I'm in my defensive stance, I'm in front of you. A lot of times you see guys. Well, if you give me a jab and you're jabbing this way, I might take that jab with my left foot and just be cooked. Instead, he already understands. Like, okay, I'll take that with my back foot. That way, when he comes back, I'm right back in the same position. I'm right back in front of you. So things like that are just like you're not gonna beat him playing with the ball. You have to do something. You have to go somewhere. You have to go somewhere. Oh, that's it. Just like what happened. It's going to be right back in your face. It's impressive. I'm just going to be impressed from Victor Wembanyama.
That's what I was getting at when I asked you guys a couple days ago when we were talking about Vic.
First of all, Ron, what's up? Glad you can make it. Good to see you, brother. We appreciate
thanks for sabotaging me and show. We appreciate it.
Thanks for showing up. But go ahead, Ron.
I was just making sure that you guys was, ready to
go. We can handle it. The fact that he dropped the couch on both of us, Martin, we had to carry it up the stairs, and then he showed up. We're already up the stairs, and this dude here he is like, "Oh, let me help you guys."
And then Big Ox jumped in.
This is your man, Ox. This is your man. I just want to put that out there, Ox. This is your man.
I'm saying, but first of all, Ron, don't just walk in the house and not say hello.
Don't say nothing.
Me and Chill be dealing with that too much on shit.
On the regular,
you know what I'm saying? Come in here, have some. Where's your man?
A lot of people kicking in the door, jumping in.
Walk in the house, just walk in the refrigerator. He's gonna walk by everybody. He ain't gonna say nothing. Just go right to the fridge. Hey, how you doing? What's going on?
Y'all got some good ass juice in here, though.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's what I was getting at with Wemby, though. When I was talking about the other day, like if you take away all his heel sets and just made him just a lob threat and then just a defender, Wemby will still be one of the greatest players of this generation, I believe. You guys feel that way?
Well, defense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he'll go down in like the defensive titan of all time. So like Ben Wallace, Dikembe. If you feel that way about Rudy Gobert, those type of players, he'll be with them for sure. And I mean, they're all Hall of Famers, right? They all made it.
Rudy's not there yet, but
they're gonna make. So all of them, yeah. He could have very little offense and still make the Hall of Fame. That's how good defensively he's going to be.
That's how Dikembe Mutombo is in the Hall of Fame for rebounding and blocks and rebounds. That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Wemby's a pretty good player, man. I think he's all right. I think he's gonna make some All-Star teams.
And we think right now on that trajectory.
I think
defensive titan trajectory. And we're not even talking about the offensive end. We're just talking about defensively.
I think he's going to be the best defensive player in the game. I do.
I think he's going to be the best defensive player ever.
Better than Olajuwon. That's better than Bill Russell. Wow. I think at minimum, Mars, he's going to be the best defensive player in the game for a while. Like, I don't think this is going to be where, and you know how I feel about Evan Mobley. I'm a big time Evan Mobley fan, but I think that there's going to be a gap between those two guys. If I'm just watching their trajectories and the stuff that Wemby does, the stuff that you can't teach, and the stuff that he already knows we can enhance it, the better rebounder that I feel like he's going to be, how much ground he covers. I think Evan Mobley is a little bit more athletic. And with Evan Mobley being a little bit more athletic, that may enhance his ability to rebound, maybe help him out on the perimeter. But I feel like Wemby covers so much ground that it's going to be so difficult to deal with him. Teams are going to have to change their offenses because of him. He's the future of basketball. I'm sure of it.
And my thing is, what happens in 5 years once he's like 2 steps ahead of everybody? Once he's like, I didn't play through so many seasons.
Okay, Ron, relax. Two steps ahead of everyone. Come on, man. The dude is gonna be one of the better players we've seen. But like,
that's not hard to be 2 steps ahead of everybody when you're an all-star. Like your typical all-stars. Your typical all-stars are already a step ahead of everybody.
Who in the NBA is 2 steps ahead of him?
Like Joe. Let me ask you a question, Bron. Joker. Who is Joker 2 steps ahead of on the superstar tier?
On a superstar tier?
Yeah.
On the superstar tier, he's. I mean, if you're saying like Giannis, who else?
Luka,
Joel,
Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, KD. Who is he 2 steps ahead of?
He's not 2 steps ahead of him. I'm talking about the regular competition. I'm talking about your average Joe.
Okay.
In terms of those guys, he may be marginally ahead of them, but he's not miles ahead of those guys. But
Oh, I thought when you were saying 2 steps ahead, you just meant like he saw the game quicker than everyone else. That's how I interpreted it. I didn't know you meant.
Which he does, Mars. Which I do feel like he does have that. I don't think that's something that's ridiculous to think, because there are guys who think the game. I think Joker is in that aspect. If you think about how Joker sees the game as opposed to everybody else, I feel like Joker is a step, maybe even 2 steps ahead of a lot of people in the game, because he sees the game a lot faster than other people do. I think that's one of the main reasons why he's as good as he is, because the damn sure ain't athleticism.
Yeah,
it's not that.
So with that, from that point of view, if you look at it that way, okay, because if Anthony Davis had Jokic IQ, it would be unfair. You know what I'm saying? So I can see what you're saying as far as that goes, but I'm still having trouble with that statement though, Ron. Like, and that's the problem. I get called a hater. That's why I get called a hater, because I'm like, I just can't put that on the kid.
I'm more so talking about on the defense.
Why though, Big Ox? Because when you think about where he is projected, right? He's projected as the future of the franchise. That's number one. Number two, his trajectory and which way he's going. So in the next 5 years, why is it ridiculous to think that he shouldn't be head and shoulders above his contemporaries? I mean, we ain't talking about guys like Joker. We ain't talking about guys like Giannis. We're talking about guys like he dealing with now, like in his class and guys around his age. Why is it ridiculous to think in 5 years? Because you know how I am about the 5-year mark. By the 5-year mark, it's probably who you are. But why is it ridiculous to think that by that time he'll be head and shoulders above his contemporaries?
Because I see a great player. I see a great player, particularly a great defender, but I don't see LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see a dude that's about to carry the squad.
I'm talking about on the defensive end.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I understand now, but like that's cool enough. I still don't see LeBron James. I don't see a guy that's gonna carry his squad to multiple conference finals. I don't see a guy that's gonna carry like Wemby's not LeBron. That's what I'm saying. Like if you put him, if Wemby stays on far less superior teams, right, he's not carrying those teams to finals. Like he's gonna don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not gonna knock a player for not being able to carry an inferior team. Right. I'm not gonna knock you for not having superior help. I'm not gonna knock you for that. I'm not gonna knock you for having help to get somewhere. But unless Wemby does have help, he's not carrying the squad to the finals.
Well, let me ask you this, Ox. Keep going, Ox, because I want you to stay there. Ox. Do you see a generational talent?
Generational talent? Yeah. I mean, he's a freak. He's a freak of nature. So generationally, he's talented.
I mean, it's a bunch of freaks of nature, though, Ox. I'm talking about a guy who, in the next couple of years, this dude for the next decade is going to be the best player, or arguably the best player in the game. Do you see that?
Yeah, in about 4 or 5 seasons, he'll be for sure easy top 3 every year. Yeah. But so is Joel, and I don't see Joel being able to do that either. If Joel doesn't have help, he's not taking nobody to the finals.
Well, part of that's due to health, though. If Joel had been healthy throughout all of these years, it would be a whole different story.
That's clearly speculation. That's speculation. That's inadmissible. You know what I'm saying? We're not, it's inadmissible evidence that we're throwing that at a court. I need to see it.
All right. So over LeBron's 10-year run, if he's healthy only 3 years, how many years does he make it to the finals?
Well, we can't do that, Ron, because he was healthy. So
once again, that's inadmissible, Ron. I'm
just saying. Obviously, we're saying bar health with Wemby, but the thing about it is, bro, the impact that Wemby has on defense alone, and it's going to get better. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get greater. He's only going to start understanding the process in the game more. Yo, he's 19.
I'm saying how much better, and why?
Just okay. So listen to me. He's 19. When he's 29, he's been playing the game for 10 years. He's had a couple deep postseason runs. He's played 82 games fully. He has the crew that he's been playing with for 5 to 6 years. Now they're established. They've grown together. Pop probably still won't be around, but they'll probably still have another good coach.
Why are you just assuming these things? He's gonna have this crew for 6 years. They're gonna grow together. Like,
assuming that
we don't know what these front offices are.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on, Big Ox.
Assuming that players don't get better. That's what I'm assuming.
See, well, Ron, you always assume that. You always assume like, you always assume like it's a skill.
No. Let's
always do that. Like it's a skill. Like this player's gonna get better. Like,
let's go through all the last.
And at what point do they stop getting better? And also, not only do they get better, what do they get better at? How do they get better at this? We can't just always say, "Oh, he's 19. By the time he's 27, he's going to do this." Why?
Wemby's going to get better because he's going to play basketball. Okay. The more and more you play, the better and better you get. The more you read, the faster you read. The more you run, the faster you run. The more you drive, the more confident you become on the road. It's just a natural human characteristic. The more you do something, the better you get at it. But
if you do it right, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice does not make perfect.
Aside from that, Wemby's just going to start processing the game.
But can we agree? Can we agree that practice does not make perfect?
No, it doesn't. Practice habits make you better. Just because you're practicing doesn't mean you're getting better.
So are we saying Wemby's going to practice bad? Is that your reason? Are you saying, he's gonna be practicing doing this, and this? He's not.
Well, I can say that just as easy as you can say that. What you say?
You just being a contrarian right now. You being a hater. You know. Wemby is him, and we know over this next 10 to 15 years, he's going to run the league. I don't think it's gonna be. Mars just mentioned Hakeem Olajuwon. He said he's gonna be better than at defense than Hakeem. If that's the case, and we're just talking about the defensive end. Once we start factoring in the offensive end, his handle gets tighter. He gets more efficient. He gets stronger. That's the biggest thing. He gets stronger. He starts finding
how tight can he handle? How tight can he handle when
you start hating again? He starts getting more efficient. He starts knocking his shots down more. He starts
knowing where to shoot, knowing where to shoot, knowing how to shoot. The kind of offense is going to be built around him. It's going to be built around his skill set, which is going to improve because with the San Antonio Spurs, I have a difficult time believing that they're going to ruin him like some other franchises have. And if they do, people are going to be smart enough to see that they're screwing him up and he's the future of the league, and they're going to get him out of there and get him around some people that know what the hell they're doing before it's too late. That's one factor in. That's one thing that we can factor in. He's not going to be down in San Antonio and they got no idea what they're doing with him for years and they screwing him up. That's not going to happen. I don't see that.
This is my thing, Chuck. Now, I'm not denying the fact that this kid is great. I'm not denying the fact that this kid is a freak of nature. I'm not denying the fact that he's going to be one of the best defenders we've ever seen. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying is that going to translate into him carrying his squad to championships, to finals appearances? That's all I'm saying. I don't know if this is the type of game that translates in the ability to carry a team. That's all I'm trying to get across.
I think that we're confusing carrying squads. Like you talking about him carrying a squad like James is carrying a squad. Well, yeah, I don't have to carry a squad like James is carrying a squad to still be awesome. I don't have to do it like that.
No, you don't. I'm not saying that.
And I don't want to make it sound like he has to do that in order to be awesome. But to be an all-time great, which I think he's going to be, I do think that just from the defensive end alone, he's going to enhance every squad that he's on. And they're going to make deep playoff runs just off the strength of what he does on the defensive end, how he thwarts other teams' offense. He's going to do that. And I've seen other guys do that from a defensive standpoint. Tim Duncan did that. And we don't talk about Tim Duncan carrying squads like we talk about James. Now, when I talk about Wemby being an all-time great offensive player, well, first of all, him coming into the NBA, he's a lot more polished than the average 19-year-old that was in college. A lot more polished because I feel like his game translated well to the NBA. With that being said, he gets around the right people. I think he's in a great organization in San Antonio. Being around Pop, who is old, who I don't think is going to be around much longer, Pop is going to put him in the right hands and help him get to where he needs to go. There's no way he's just going to sit down in San Antonio and just be or just be good. No, they got a generational talent on that crew. There's no way that he's just going to be okay. No, absolutely not.
Chill. They got all these draft picks. So they're going to keep getting an influx of young draft talent. These players are going to continue to get better. I'm assuming they're going to find a point guard, which that's going to help with me like night and day. If he gets somebody
that's priority number one. I do. I think that's priority number one.
Somebody that can really set the table, push the ball on the break, get him easy shots, get him open looks, get him lobs over the top, all of that good stuff. But on top of all of that, I'm pretty sure and I'm positive there's going to be free agents that are going to be dying to go play with Wemby.
That's a fact, Ron. That's a fact. Somebody wants to play with that kid. Somebody wants to. But I can't overlook what you guys are doing right now compared to what you guys were just doing 4 months ago. March, February, about 3-4 months ago, right? I'm not gonna just sit here and let y'all start praising. Oh, Pop's gonna do this, Pop's gonna do that. When just 3 months ago, Pop's he doesn't know what he's doing with Victor Wembanyama. He needs to get out the way. I'm not gonna like I wasn't.
Wait a minute. My grandmother is old. God rest her soul. My grandmother is old, but she showed my mother how to cook for me because she wasn't gonna be around long. She's passing it off.
But nobody see that's the thing though, and I'm not letting that slide.
Just because she's old,
y'all was talking bad about Pop.
Right, because Pop is
he not getting in the ball where he needs the ball. Whole time, Victor Wembanyama's walking around the court with his hands touching his knees instead of him giving a target, getting his hands up and posting up. And everybody talking about Pop need to get out the way. Bring in some new blood. Pop stuck in 2004. This isn't.
Let's just get out to the bottom of this.
But who was defending him? I was the only one up here defending Greg Popovich. So look. Unless you stand up for the oppressed, you are just as bad as the oppressor. So what I'm saying is, y'all wasn't defending Pop until Wemby started getting his shit together. Until Wemby start playing basketball with his hands up, you know, what is this, how you say it, Ron? Hands up. Man, that's not what. Anyways, look. Y'all not finna do this now, okay? Y'all not finna do this now.
Okay. First of all,
like I said, the beginning is on Pop need to get it out of the way. Now all of a sudden, Pop's gonna teach him how to do this.
Pop didn't know what he was doing with him. He didn't. 1 minute he had.
Now he does.
So wait a minute. What? So what?
Had a plan the whole time. We were just overreacting. A certain person specifically, and I told you guys this. Matter of fact, now it's all starting to come back. You're a liar. Because I said, yo. Because I don't be up here yelling and screaming sometimes, don't mean that I don't say certain things. I said, relax. Pop knows Pop has a plan. He's letting. Matter of fact, you got mad at me for saying this. I said, Pop is the one who was. I said, Pop is just letting him go out there, get a feel for things, and then he's gonna start tightening the clip.
People can't learn or grow. So now, Greg Pop is just all of a sudden become a better coach in 3 months, and he was already a living legend. I'm tired of y'all.
Okay, nobody said that he wasn't. As a matter of fact, this is nonsense, Ox. Wait a minute, Ox. You sound crazy right now, Ox. Hold on. You're telling us that we were defending Greg Popovich not being a very good coach when he has a player who he's never had before. Ever. I have never had anything like this before. So I might have a plan, but I'm not really sure what I'm doing. So now 3 months later, when there's a little bit more clarity, just a little bit more clarity, I kind of got an idea of figuring this guy out. I could put him in different spaces. I can now get him the basketball where I need to get him the basketball. I can now show him how to play defense a little bit better because there's a little bit more clarity going on here, as opposed to when I just got this thing, I have no idea how it works because I ain't never had this before. I don't know what I'm doing with this thing. I don't. Is that
it, or was he like I was saying? Was he trying to help develop the other guys to help building his squad? Was he not just trying to throw everything on Victor Wembanyama, or was it just what everybody else was saying that he just didn't know what he was doing? The best coach of all time just didn't know what he was doing. Didn't know how to use.
With this thing in particular, Big Ox, I'm not saying with the whole.
I wouldn't buy that if it was free.
Yo, the thing about it was, Pop hadn't seen Wemby up close and personal. He didn't know his bad traits. He didn't know his good traits. He didn't know how to coach him. He didn't know, all of that good stuff. So that's
Pop never seen him up close and personal. What do you mean by that, Brian?
Like he hadn't he hasn't coached them. He was new. He's new to America, let alone San Antonio. New to the Spurs. New to the whole thing. Pop, and I think I actually looking back hindsight, I think it was genius.
Just because I see a nice car and now I get it, that doesn't necessarily mean that I know what I'm doing with the ride when I get it. And sure, he's seen Wemby, but he never had Wemby. So because I have Wemby, sure, I know what Sochan is, right? I know what Devin Vassell is. Now I got to integrate this thing that I've never seen before into everything else that I already have. I'm not really sure what I'm doing with it yet. And the fact that I'm as old as I am, you would think that I got this figured out. Well, it might take a second because I ain't never had this before. He's never had a guy that with that much length, that kind of athleticism. David, as good as David Robinson was, as good as Tim Duncan was, these guys wasn't him at 19 years old. So immediately, there's going to be a learning curve here. I got to figure this out. That's all. Now, does this mean that, yo, Pop is washed, Pop need to get out of here? No. We were going off what we saw with Pop right now. And we were forgetting that Pop he ain't had this sort of thing ever. So we didn't give him the benefit of the doubt at that time. We didn't.
But just like I said then, I said this about a couple coaches, Darvin Ham included. I said this about a bunch of coaches. We were having this conversation. Remember, this was in probably November, if I'm not mistaken. It was a group of coaches that everybody was saying were overrated. Steve Kerr was one of them. Pop was another one. Darvin Ham, Monty deserved it. a couple coaches. It was a bunch of coaches we were talking about were overrated, right?
Crazy too.
But look though, I was saying we have to stop looking at coaches to coach the way we want them to coach their team, because we're looking at it as fans and what we want to see instead of these coaches are trying to build their team. You know what I'm saying? That these coaches are trying to build their team. They're in the locker room. They know what they're trying to do. They have a goal. They have a vision for their team, and that's what they're trying to do. Us as fans, we want to see Victor Wembanyama shoot 25 shots. We want to see this. We want to see that. We want to be excited. We want to be entertained. But these coaches are coaching their team to build up their squad, and that's what I'm saying. So now that Victor Wembanyama has finally got his feet under him, now that he finally got his sea legs under him, now y'all want to give Greg Popovich some love. And I'm not standing for it. I'm not going for it. Y'all are capping, and I'm calling that shit out right now.
Mars, I got to ask you, as of right now, what would you grade Coach Popovich's job with Wemby? How do you think he's done with him so far?
What, just Wemby?
Just Wemby.
Well, I don't know where the credit starts from Pop and where it starts with Wemby. I don't know how I'm going to separate the two.
Let's just say the Spurs in general, how they've handled Wemby.
I think they've handled him well. But there's no other reference of someone handling him badly. So I guess I'll say B plus. I don't know what the perfect way to handle it. The minutes restriction, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I don't know his medical data to know if he should still be only playing 28 minutes a game or if he's able to play 35. So maybe that's where I'm wrong. Maybe he really can only play 28. So me grading them lower for only playing him 28 minutes a game, maybe I'm wrong. So I'll say B. It would be an A if he was able to play more minutes, but maybe he's not able to because I don't know. But I do remember saying that even when people were complaining about Sochan at point guard, me included, because I was not a fan of it, but I understood that he was trying to see Sochan's decision-making, and I think it's improved considering Sochan now in his natural position looks better than he did last year. But I was the one saying that Wemby was still top 10 in usage rate, even during that period. Not many rookies are top 10 in usage rate in the NBA. He was getting his touches. He was getting his shots. He was doing things that he wanted to do. So I do remember saying that people were expecting him to lead the league in usage as a rookie because there wasn't much more he could have done. I do remember saying that, even though I was critical of the Sochan at point guard thing in terms of the short term. But I'm not as low on Greg Popovich as other people. But other people have been blaming him for the Spurs not making the playoffs in the last 2 seasons. So I'm comfortable with Greg Popovich developing the Spurs young core, but I think only 3 of them are there long term anyway. I think it's Wemby, Vassell, and Sochan. Everyone else can be moved at any time, in my opinion.
The rest of y'all could go. Bye.
Yeah, they're the only ones who I think are probably in the long-term plans.
Mars,
So,
was I tripping? Was I tripping when I said that Keldon Johnson's better than Devin Vassell?
I think he was, but I was saying that last year. But now I think most people can see, considering more people are watching the Spurs than ever. I think most people can see that Vassell's the better player. But I was trying to tell people that yes, Keldon Johnson led the team in scoring last year. He was not better than Devin Vassell. Right. But
hey, why don't you think Kevin can last there, or Keldon? Why do you think you just don't think that they value him as much as the other three? You don't think they need him, or you don't think he's a good fit?
Probably.
I personally really like him, and I would like to keep him alongside Wemby.
There's probably a combination of a bunch of things in terms of I don't think he fits in terms of he's not a great shooter, nor does he play very good defense. So two things that you'd probably want around Wemby: wing defense and shooting. He provides none of them. Then even though he's improved as a decision maker, he's still not very good in that regard. So you just have a guy who primarily wants to score, get into the rim, when you want Wemby to really operate the whole paint. So he just doesn't fit that. And then I'm just of the belief that he was just not that good to begin with. So I think, how old is he? Like 24, 25? You got some value with him as a young player who's averaged 20 in the league. You can move him for someone who actually does fit. So I think his trade value is probably higher than everyone else on the team who's not Devin Vassell or Sohan or Wemby. So that's part of it. And then he just is, of all of those guys, he fits the least. So if anyone's going to be made available, I think it will be him. So a bunch of different things.
Okay. This is a good time right now to tell everybody to like the video if you haven't liked the video. Shout out to all of our new members. Shout out to all of our new subscribers. We got a couple new members in here, actually. Let me go ahead and shout them out right now. Zach Spath. Shout out Zach Spath. Teddy Hart became a new member as well. So shout out to those two. Speaking of Teddy Hart, we got a couple super chats from Teddy. Teddy said, idea. Fix All-Star Game competitiveness on both ends by giving the incentive that the All-Star Game MVP gets to be exempt that year from the 65 game minimum rule for the league awards. Everyone would take that game personal.
So just to clarify, in order to get these guys to try in the All-Star Game, the reward is you get to play less basketball.
Right. What? Which, by the way, Mars, don't forget that which, by the way, Mars, in my contract, it's an incentive for me to be an All-Pro. It's an incentive for me to be a league MVP. It's an incentive for me to be all of that. So I'm going to play less games. No, that's not going to happen.
Hey, I know how that is, though. That super chat, because I do that all the time. I do that all the time when I think, I got a good idea, and I just say it, and I'll be like, I should have thought that a little bit more.
I mean, maybe he does think I just don't think it's a good idea. Maybe
no more. After I guarantee you, after he sent that super chat, he wanted his $20 back. He was like, I could have did better.
No, because he said it got deleted and then he sent it again. So he thought it through. He sent it twice.
Yo, Teddy, you better than this, Teddy. I've seen you come with fire takes, Teddy. Do it again. One more time, Teddy.
I'm only going to play in the All-Star Game. I'm going to play hard, and the incentive is going to be the 65 game minimum. I can play less games, but still be the league MVP. I could still be an All-Pro. No.
Wait a second. Actually, now that I think on it, that's just an investment. That's an investment. That's how investments work. I put the work in right now. With the rewards later. Real hoopers ain't gonna go for that. But the guys that don't really want to play, it's not a bad idea. My bad, Teddy. I'll take that back.
See, think about it, man. Teddy, look something, man.
You might have some action
at the end of his second super chat, he said better than a game check. You think so?
I mean, it's better than what they get for the All-Star Game now. I mean, it would be. Yeah. They get like what, 100K if they win the All-Star Game or something? It will be better than that because if you make.
Are you guys really buying into this? How many more incentives do these guys need, man?
A lot. They're prima donnas.
How many more? Damn! How many more incentives? So here's another incentive on On top of the $250,000 that's in your contract that if you make the All-Star team, you get. On top of the incentive that the $100,000 that you get from the league for playing in the All-Star game. On top of that, I'm going to pay you. If you win the All-Star game MVP, you don't now have to come to work as much as you used to. Give me a break, man. Give me a break. Sick of hearing this shit, yo. I'm tired of it. Bring your ass to work and do your job. Period.
I'm right
It's
there
that
with you.
simple.
And I think all of us share that same sentiment. All of us feel
Sick
maybe
of this shit, yo. I'm tired of hearing it.
But that's partially the reason why Teddy sent through that super chat. He's thinking about it. He's like, man, I want to see a good competitive All-Star game. What the hell can we do? All of us. I'm sure Mars has thought about it. Ox has thought about it. Chill. I know you've thought about it. Adam Silver's thinking about it. Everybody's trying to make it a good All-Star game, but the guys that are actually playing in it. And so I don't. Once again, Chill. I don't know if it's no more incentives you could really add. You're right. It's no more incentives you can really add. So who knows? I don't think it's no one size fits all problem, but I do think that it may be solved sometime in the future. We'll see. We'll see. Moving along, D3 said 2016 Warriors plus LeBron versus 2000.
That's just not fair.
You ain't serious?
That's not fair. D3. No, that's not fair. No, it's not. Mm-mm.
I mean, we're all taking the Warriors, right?
I'm thinking about it, that you would say so essentially what you're trying to tell us is put Joker on a team with Luka and put Steph on a team with James in 2016. That's what you're trying to tell us. The two best players in the world against the two best players in the world. Which team will be better, no matter who they got? That's essentially what you're trying to do.
Well, I don't.
He just wants to see Luka and Jokic paired up.
That's all it is. That's it. That's all it is.
But
this 2016 Klay Thompson too, like 2016 Draymond
2016 Warriors, yes.
The 2016 Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, like that's not even a fair game. It's not fair at all.
It's not. It is not.
Yo, plus, I'm gonna tell you like this: that 2016 Warriors team might not even need Bron.
I was just about to say, Big Ox, with that 2016 team that you just said, now put James on that crew.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They might not even need Bron, and they might beat the 2013 Nuggets with Luka.
All right, so let's do this because we will understand that's a bad question, right? 2016 Warriors plus LeBron versus the 2016 Warriors plus KD. Who wins?
James. I think the Warriors with James.
I'll take.
I got a KD Warriors in 6.
I think probably KD. I think probably KD. Because the only other thing KD really brings only other thing Bron really brings besides KD at that point is like the passing ability and stuff like that. And you already got their
2016. Do you remember James in 2016?
Yeah, good for him. LeBron and Draymond just aren't as good of a fit as KD.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like Draymond,
you're making Draymond basically obsolete on offense in order to fit LeBron's best skill sets.
Right.
So, in my opinion, you get KD, you get maximize Draymond, you get maximize Clay, and you get maximize Steph because Draymond can still handle the playmaking responsibilities. But with LeBron James, what does Draymond do? Just set a bunch of illegal screens everywhere? Is that it? That's what he can do?
Well, that's gonna add to it, and you're not gonna completely take him off the ball because it's not like James is gonna be on the floor for 48 minutes. That's not gonna happen. And
in the play, how many minutes was LeBron playing in the playoffs? He was at 45.
I don't know if he was averaging that many, but even still, wait a minute, yo, Mars, are we talking about the same LeBron James?
LeBron 41. Okay, my fault.
Well, even with that being said, Mars, are we talking about the same LeBron James who? With Draymond Green, it's not just because he's handling the basketball. If I'm not mistaken, can you tell everybody here, Mars, where Draymond Green finished in Defensive Player of the Year?
In 2016?
Yes, sir.
He was second.
Yeah, so we could take that ball handling responsibility off him and we can completely focus on that. So if we completely focusing on that and we give the ball to James, now we're even better defensively. Plus, we got James on the team who's also an even better defender than KD. So now you add all of that to it. Oh man, I'm having a difficult time.
But then the counter argument is the Warriors with KD, Draymond's already won the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
the first year KD got that. So you already got that level of defense with Draymond Green. because he already took a backseat in terms of scoring to accommodate KD, Draymond, and Steph. He's going to do the same thing with LeBron, less scoring, but he's going to have the ball in his hands less in terms of play initiating offense. Because we already understand that if Draymond has less scoring responsibility, his offense just completely abandons him. We've seen it happen. So we can reasonably assume Draymond Green is going to be a negative floor spacer, reasonably, unless you believe he's just going to still be shooting 38% from three with LeBron James. I don't know why you would believe that, but if that's what you believe, sure. So we've seen that happen. Now we've got Draymond Green running around as a non-floor spacer, setting screens for LeBron James to find Steph and Klay Thompson, or for LeBron to get downhill to drive and kick to Draymond Green. Like, it just doesn't have the same fit as KD and Steph and Klay and KD and Draymond. And if you think the level of talent LeBron brings is so substantially better than what KD brings to that team, which I mean, I guess it's fine because LeBron was obviously better than KD at the time.
Right.
But I just don't think it's enough to just override the fit that is, in my opinion, clearly superior for KD. I'm not saying LeBron doesn't fit, just saying I think KD's fit is clearly better.
KD's fit is better because, again, he's a little bit more portable. But I can't leave out what Draymond does outside of having the basketball, because we got a guy in James who basically does the same thing that Draymond does in terms of a distributor and a ball handler, set better. So now Draymond, we got cuts to the basket. We got him around the basket even more because the offense is so spread out. Because last I checked, in 2016, James could shoot the long ball. So now you got another floor spacer in James to add with both Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And now we also got an elite distributor that's looking for guys like Draymond cutting to the basket, that's looking for Draymond around the basket, and an elite defender, which KD is not doing. KD is primarily a bucket getter, and that's it. The value that James adds in that aspect, I think, is pretty difficult to overlook.
Yeah, well, KD played good defense on the Warriors because it's easy to play good defense on the Warriors.
Yep.
Take it a step further, though, Chill.
Yep.
Draymond out of that pick and roll. Let's say it's a Draymond and LeBron pick and roll.
Right.
LeBron, comes off the pick, does a pocket pass to Draymond as he's rolling to the rim. Draymond in that high post area is one of the better players in the NBA, right there. At processing what's going on, making a decision, whether it's him going and finishing or whether it's him swinging the ball to either Klay, Steph, whoever else is weak side, Iguodala, or simply catching it in the Sabonis type of role, taking one dribble, and it's a dribble handoff. That right there would be so elite with Draymond coming off a LeBron pick and roll. And even then, if it's Draymond, if it's a Steph pick and roll and it's LeBron weak side, all right, now I'm swinging it to LeBron. LeBron has only one defender to that he has to attack, or he has somebody that's closing out on him. So now he has an even better advantage. And then you still got Draymond catching the ball at the high pick and roll or at the high post area off of that pick and roll. You got people cutting and moving the same way that the Warriors do. That would be elite. And the thing that I think that a lot of people discredit is LeBron and Draymond's IQ and their ability to be able to play together. They will find a way to mesh on the floor, despite the lack of floor spacing and all of that. They'll get it done just because they both know the game very well at a level, and they can pass the hell out of the ball.
I think we underrate the floor spacing. I mean, James could shoot the long ball back then. I mean, he was a respectable long ball shooter. In addition to Steph Curry, in addition to Klay Thompson, being able to shoot the long ball, plus, and who Ox talked about, which I can't believe I forgot, Andre Iguodala. I mean, these guys can knock down open shots. Wasn't Sean Livingston on that team too, or no?
Yeah,
he was, but he's not shooting threes.
Well, he's a
mid-range murderer. He's an assassin in the
He's definitely playing in the mid-range, which
Showtime archetype. Yeah,
he's definitely playing in the mid-range. But I mean, you do have floor spaces out there, and Draymond to add to that, him getting off the basketball, cutting to the lanes, man. I think that would be crazy.
You get that same impact with Steph.
Before we move on to KD. I do gotta ask. We got the Warriors, and we just talked about, obviously they added KD. We talked about adding LeBron.
To say that James wasn't a floor spacer in 16, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Because he was. Now, if you go in, don't get me wrong, if you're going under screens, okay, you're gonna live with James shooting. If you're gonna live with James shooting, that's probably why he was in the NBA Finals all of those years, because you're gonna lose. If you're going to live with him scoring, you're going to lose, because he was knocking down the mid-range. He was knocking down the long ball. He was doing all of that sort of stuff. So if you're going to pick your poison, and the poison is, all right, I gotta eat him shooting at the long ball line. I got to eat him shooting coming off the screen. I'm going to play drop. At that time, that's a bad idea. And it showed because a lot of teams lost because of that. So to say that he wasn't a respectable long ball shooter, to say that he wasn't awesome in the mid range, that's just not true. It's not.
All right, y'all. Teddy Hart shot through another super chat. He said, Chilltown,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
frustrated too, but I'm speaking to the way things are, not the way it should be. It's just a carrot on a stick and only affects one player per season. But the trade-off is everyone plays hard in the All-Star game. Would it work?
I don't think a bunch of guys. I mean, the incentive is I don't have to play as much. Who's going to go for that? Especially if we, in playoff contention. Especially if we trying to get a seed. I mean, who's going to go for that?
I think me personally, and I don't know the players, but I think the only people that would like benefit is like for this year, for example, a Tyrese Halliburton, someone who had missed time before the All-Star break and who now can, I think, only miss like 3 or 4 games before he's now ineligible for the 65 game streak, 65 game minimum. So if he then wins the All-Star game MVP and then goes on to play 62 games, he's still eligible. He can get his big money because of the time he missed prior to the All-Star game is now no longer affecting his chances. But if you've already played 48 games at All-Star break, I don't think it's going to affect you that much because you're probably going to get to 65 games just off playing the rest of the season, not getting hurt. But if you're at risk and you can only afford to miss like one more game, then maybe that's the people who will benefit. But that's like 1 or 2 people a year. So I don't know.
All right, fellas, this is a good time to let everybody know that on March 5th, we will be shooting from the logo. This is Players Choice's very own newest show that will be starring some guys like the Gifted, ZZ, Jalen Carter, and others as well. You got a chance to pull up, watch this good show on March 5th. You guys be sure to tap in. I can't wait for it. It's going to be an exciting time here on Players Choice. Tap into that. Furthermore,
hey, Smoke Rich Biggs in the back. Turn that volume up and say it louder again for the people in the back. They didn't hear you. One more time, my man, because what you just said is exactly that. Say it louder one more time for the people in the back because they did not hear you. No, they didn't. They did not hear you. I don't think they heard. Turn his mic up. Turn Smoke mic up because they did not hear you. Turn Smoke mic up because they didn't hear you. Yeah,
yo, and
turn
shout out
Smoke
to
mic
everybody
up.
else in the chat too. Big shout out to Smoke, but shout out to everybody else in the chat. Y'all the real MVPs. If you haven't got a chance to, everybody in the chat, go to playerschoicemerch.com. Check out the new stuff that we have. We got some fire stuff on the way for y'all. Just wait. Just be patient. Just be patient. Also, join our Telegram. We do a lot in here. It's a constant conversation 24/7 about basketball, football, betting, all type of stuff, boxing, whatever. We get into just about everything. It's a free 14-day period right now. Join the trial period. Come in here, have a good old grand old time, and download Telegram. We'll see y'all in there. All of us is in there. Bunch of others in the chat. It's a good time. Just imagine being in the chat 24/7. It's a good time, good time. But fellas, we have company. We have a nice guest. Yo, Hoop Social, man. How you want us to address you?
Best way possibly. Well, first and foremost, can you guys hear me okay?
You hot.
Yeah.
Okay, good. First name is Orry, Orry. So you guys could just refer to me as Orry from Hoop Social.
What's up, Orry?
Welcome. Yeah, welcome.
First of all, welcome. Hey,
I appreciate you guys having me.
What's up, Orry? Hey, when you first popped up, I seen the beard. I thought that was my man Light. I almost jumped out the seat. Hey, still happy to see you, though, Orry. Still happy to see you, man. For sure.
Oh, I don't know if I can live with that
Orry?
first impression disappointment.
No disappointment at all.
You good.
Yo, Orry, what's going on? How you feeling right now about basketball?
I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I tend to get a little low after the All-Star break because I'm really waiting for the playoffs. So right now I'm just making sure I consume a lot of basketball to kind of keep that energy going because, you know, we all want playoff time to come sooner rather than later at this point.
Orry, this is the best time. This is one of the best times of the season because guys are jockeying for position. Teams are getting healthy. Teams are going on runs. I think the Warriors have won 9 of their last 11. They rolling right now. Teams are starting to get their chemistry. Don't let the Warriors fool you. Don't do not let them fool you. Do not get sucked into that. But the point I'm making is that this basketball, this time of year, I know you're waiting for the playoffs. Don't miss this type of Don't miss this time of basketball because it's really competitive. Really is.
And
it's
that's
not a fun
super fair.
time when your team's not in the playoffs, but I mean, I guess whatever, sure.
Mars, I'm not listening to your goofy logic about your Rockets, okay? Because we already know how quickly you are going to jump off the ship. We already know you, so I don't want to hear what you're talking about with these Rockets. I'm sick of you, Mars. I'm tired of
for now, I'm on the ship and I'm not having fun on the journey.
Here we go.
It's a bad
And you're
time.
and the minute you get a life jacket, you jumping off the ship. I know you. I know
Mars,
you.
you got to stick it out through the adversity, Mars. And then,
Oh no,
it's
I'm
so
gonna be
much
honest.
more.
I'm gonna be honest. I was watching the game last night. Sorry to cut Orry off, and I apologize. But I was watching the game last night, and then I realized, why am I staying loyal to this team? Wow.
Here we go. Here we go.
I have no alliance.
Here we
no
go.
alliance to Houston.
This is bullshit.
So why am I subjecting myself? How
This
many
is
games have we
bullshit.
played? Let's see. How many games have we played?
You played
We
59
played-
games, Mars.
Yeah.
59. That's it.
I've watched 59 games of basketball. 59 times 48. Plus we've gone to overtime about 6 times. So 59. So you got about 53, 48, then 50, and then 5 53-minute games. So I've watched a lot of minutes of Houston Rockets basketball. For what? Why have I done this? Like, I'm doing this to support a team that is just bad. Like, why would I subject myself to watching bad basketball this whole time? So I've now come to the conclusion that I'm going to continue to watch the Houston Rockets.
Okay.
But I might miss a game here or there because I want to watch good basketball. I'm not watching good basketball right now.
Mars,
It's bad basketball, and I'm not having fun.
I gotta say, Mars, it's so hard for me to hear you do this.
It's terrible.
I stuck with a team. That's what I'm saying. I stuck with a team from back when Mars was like 4 years old to now. And you're not gonna give him 5?
No, because I'm gonna be honest. Like, if you're like from the area or something, or you grew up with that team, I can understand having like the ties. I know from the football world, as an Arsenal fan, I've sat through some bad times. Right. Anyone who knows football in the chat, I've sat through the bad times, and I'm still there, so I can understand that. Okay. But in the basketball world, I don't have a tie to any of these teams. So why am I subjecting myself to just watch bad basketball night in and night out? I'm watching the worst offense I've ever seen. Why would I do that? I'd much rather watch the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'd much rather watch the Denver Nuggets. I'd much rather watch the Boston Celtics. So why am I just watching 59 games of bad basketball to just show that I'm loyal to the cause? No, I don't want to do that. So I'm good. You guys can stay loyal to your franchises. But me, I can't watch bad basketball 82 games a year and then feel good about myself. So
two things.
No,
two things, Mars. Question number 1. Are we now seeing other people? Is that what we're doing?
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
So
I'm not gonna lie. I've watched 60 games of these Houston Rockets, and it's bad. Like, I'm not about to watch 22 more games.
So we're no longer exclusive. Now we're seeing other people. Is that what's going on? I want to make sure I'm understanding that.
Yeah, I'm still gonna watch the Rockets, but I feel like me watching the Rockets is taken away from me watching other teams. There's been times there's been good games on, and I've gone and turned the game off.
It sounds like an open relationship to me, Ox. That's what it sounds like.
I'm not doing that.
Like we're involved, but we see another
it's fine.
That's what it sounds like.
I will happily say I feel no ties to any NBA organizations. I'm just gonna watch the teams that play good basketball or the teams that have good players who I enjoy watching.
Now, I'm not sure, Mars. I'm not sure how they do it in the UK, but you do understand that once we clean it up over here, and now we are what you thought we were going to be.
And I'm going to go back to watching.
You don't get to come back, Mars. That's not the way that works. No, that's not the way that works.
Since the Warriors have started winning games, I've started watching the Warriors more.
He creeping. He going back to.
Did we catch Mars? Did we catch Mars tiptoeing in the neighborhood? Did we catch Mars tiptoeing in the?
This is the thing. You think I'm just going back to be a fan? I'm saying actively, I'm not a fan of any team. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm
Orry,
just
this is what we
watching
gotta
good
deal with on the
basketball.
regular.
That's all I'm doing.
Just like-
I've been
this is what
watching
we deal with on
59
the
games of
regular.
bad basketball.
regular.
I've had enough of it. So now I'm just going to watch the NBA. Like Chill says, he's not a fan of any team. Chill says that. That's me. I'm just going to watch the basketball for the love of the game. I'm not watching the Houston.
Do not
Rockets
lump me in this with you, Mars, because I have
I'm
not.
yeah, because
okay?
I've joined teams and
You've
left
actually
teams. That's
played-
fine.
right.
I'm
You've
not
done
arguing
that.
that.
Don't lump me in with
But
you.
what I'm
Mars.
saying is now I had an epiphany last night after watching some of the worst offensive basketball.
Had
I've
an
ever seen.
epiphany.
It's
Crazy.
unbelievable.
I had an
Mars.
epiphany. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? I'm on a show where we talk about basketball 5 days a week. I'm on open gym. I talk about basketball 3 times a week. And I'm here watching 59 Houston Rockets games out of 59. Why? Why would I do that? We barely even talk about them. Like I'm here hampering myself in conversations because I want to go watch the 12th seed in the Western Conference 59 times a year. No. So I'm gonna watch the whole NBA. I'm gonna do equal opportunity. We're doing communistic watching of basketball now.
Man.
We're watching every team as much as possible. And I've had enough of just watching one team for the most part and then trying to catch the other teams where I can because
Which
Houston
you
Rockets
did.
aren't good basketball. It's just not fun. So
So
I've
it
given up.
so
Yo,
so
Mars, because I got a question for Orry next. But Mars, I gotta ask you, and the chat needs to know this. What are the teams that are next up? If you guys were just if this ship was direct, who are you seeing?
It's not.
Ron,
It's not. It's not a team. It's the league. Like let's look at let's do that. Let me find what
Ron,
games are on tonight.
Ron, you have clearly.
Yeah. So for example, tonight there's the Warriors and the Raptors and the Hornets and the Sixers and the Cavs and the Pistons and the Mavericks and the Celtics. I'm for sure gonna watch the Mavs and Celtics game. I'm for sure gonna do that. Like there's no way in hell I'm not gonna watch that game. But then tomorrow we play the Suns. I know how that game's gonna go. So maybe I might not watch that game because the Nuggets and Lakers game,
Mars? How is that
we
game
gonna get
go?
smoked. But the Nuggets and Lakers game is gonna be on at the same time. So you know what? Normally I would go watch my team get smoked and be depressed. But now I'm gonna go watch the Nuggets and Lakers game. That's all I'm doing. I'm just gonna watch I'm gonna watch good basketball. I'm not gonna subject myself to watching Houston play, disappoint me, and I miss good games because of
Orry,
it. I've missed too many good games.
Orry, don't get sucked
So
into
I've
this
changed.
logic.
I'm not doing that.
Guy, I'm trying to
That's
tell you
it.
something.
That's all I'm saying.
The reason why
Yes,
we have
I'm not a
problem
real
with this-
fan. Why would I be a real
the
fan?
reason why
I'm
we have
in
a problem
London.
with this
I
is
stay up
because
till
this
3.
dude
I stay
has
up till 5
subjected
a.m. to
us
watch this team.
when we
I'm more of a
started
real
this.
fan than any of
He
you
has
guys.
subjected us
You guys
to
don't stay up till 5 a.m. to watch these teams. play
told
basketball.
us right before this
I don't
started,
care.
before the season
You can't
started.
tell
he
me. You
subjected
can't tell
us
me I'm not a
to
real fan
him
when I stay up
being
till
the
6 a.m.
Houston
watching
Rockets fan,
basketball.
and on
You
top
guys
of
don't
that,
stay up till
he
6 a.m.
told
watching
us that
basketball.
Jalen Green was better than Jordan. So
He is.
we were on,
And I'm still gonna watch.
This
He
is what
is.
we're listening to, right?
I'm still
So
gonna
now
watch.
we go
He
from
made 7
that,
threes last night.
right? We go from that to now. You know what? This team is kind of whack, and I don't know if
They
I'm staying on
are.
board with them. This team
They
is
are
kind of whack.
terrible.
Right, which I don't know if you know this, Mars, but they were at the bottom of the Western Conference last season.
And I was watching them last year too.
Right. The fact that you pledged your allegiance to this crew, you involved us in it. That's the
my
difference,
fault.
Mars.
My bad. Yeah, my fault. Yeah, I shouldn't have pledged my allegiance to no team. I've realized now I'm not pledging allegiance to no one because, as I've realized, you guys don't have to stay up with me to watch these games.
But
you
we have
guys
to
are
endure
not-
this, though.
Yeah,
This is what we have to
great.
endure,
That's fantastic. You're not staying up till 5 a.m. to watch your team have the worst offense of all time. You're not doing that. I'm doing it. So I don't care. You guys can call me as unloyal as you want. You get to watch the games at a reasonable hour. You guys can watch the games at 10 p.m. if you're on the East Coast or 8 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. I'm watching it at 3 a.m. So don't tell me that I'm not loyal when I've been staying up for 59 games till 3 a.m. watching this team do trash the whole time. I've been doing things that no one else would be willing to do. You guys would not be staying up till 5 a.m. to watch your team get blown out by 25. You wouldn't do that. But I was. So don't tell me I'm not loyal. I sat through things that you guys wouldn't sit through because you don't have to sit through them. As a fan from the UK, I'm not about to subject myself to staying up that late to watch a team get cooked. I'd much rather watch the Nuggets and Lakers because then at least after that, I can feel good about myself. That
So
I
then
watched a
don't
good
pledge your
basketball game.
allegiance to any
That's
more
what I'm
crews,
gonna
then,
do.
Mars. And
I'm
don't pledge.
saying I'm not
Okay,
doing that.
good.
I'm not
So now
pledging my
we're
allegiance. I'm
clear.
just watching
Mars
the
is no
NBA.
longer pledging
Yes.
his allegiance to
I'm
any
just
more crews.
watching the
So
NBA.
I
I'm
do not
watching
wanna
all
hear
30
you come in
teams.
here, Mars.
That's
You
it.
better not come in here, Mars, in a
Yes.
month and go that the Golden State Warriors are your crew. I don't want to hear that
No
logic
team is
from
my
you,
crew,
Mars.
but I'm going to say there's
Don't
teams
start
I
it.
like watching and there's teams I
Okay,
don't like
that's
watching.
fine.
That's it. But I'm not
That's
rooting for
fine.
no
I don't got a
team.
problem with that.
Yo,
There's no team I'm
Orry.
rooting for. I'm rooting for good basketball. That's where I'm at.
Orry,
That's
my
it.
friend, I'm sorry. You caught us at a bad hour. on a
No,
bad
you
day
didn't. No, you did. This is
with
what we got to
bad
deal with. On
stuff.
Yeah,
the
welcome to the
It's
show,
all-
man.
It's all
Welcome to the
good.
show.
It's
Welcome to
all
the show.
good.
Orry, You got thrown in the fire about Fred. Hey, it's family dysfunction. It happens all the time. But welcome in. Welcome to the show. Clario or Claro or Cheerios, whatever she calls herself. She asked you, what's your favorite team, Orry?
Oh, that I am actually a diehard, true blood Boston Celtics fan.
See, that's good for him, isn't it? He's great. His team top of the East.
Yeah,
he's having a great time. Now, if they were 0-50, he wouldn't be watching them. Guaranteed.
Now, just so you know, Mars. Go ahead, Orry. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Orry.
I've been around since 1998 is when I first started rooting for the Celtics.
The moment they got Paul Pierce, how coincidental.
The exact moment they got Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce was one of my favorite players in college, and I thought there was no way he was going to slip to 10th and become a Celtic. And because he did, I just attached myself to Pierce and attached myself to the franchise, basically, because I was super hyped that they got the guy that I wanted.
Mars, you do know that when they got Paul Pierce, they did have a stretch with Paul Pierce on the unit where they were garbage. I don't know if you remember that, but he stayed on board.
And I can guarantee he didn't watch all 82 games of them every single year.
And nobody's saying that you have to watch all 82.
And that's what I've been doing. And I have heartburn. I have medical issues from watching this stupid team all year long. So, no.
Houston, you're deteriorating my man's health. This is because of you, Houston. Jalen Green, okay, Sengun, my man's health is deteriorating because of you. Pick it up. Yeah. Get it together.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, well, Orry, you came in the perfect episode because, as you can see, the title of the show, the Celtics are clearly the best team in the NBA. So I got a couple more super chats to read, Orry, and then we're going to get to talk about the dominance that you guys have put on this year, or whether it's a fluke. Orry, it's some people up here that think that the Celtics aren't really as good as they appear to be. But we'll figure out who all that is, and we'll see who thinks they're frauds and who thinks that they're the real deal, all of that good stuff. But my man Alan R. sent through a super chat and said, I knew I liked this Dub variant. Dub Celtics fan. Boy, are you familiar with Dub? Are you familiar with all of us?
I am. That's funny. I know exactly who he's talking about. That makes I can see the beard.
Do you like Dub?
I think he's got some fun takes. I like his energy a lot.
No, so I like people fun and not good.
I like people that are
fun and good are not the same thing, Mars.
Fun takes, not good ones. Fun takes.
Semantics, I guess.
No,
it's like I like this player because he could jump high and dunk. And he runs fast. He got a good crossover, but
he's just not trying to burn bridges. So he said fun instead of absolutely terrible. I get it. I understand the politics.
Robert Pickney said, what's y'all opinion on Jalen Brown and his worth? What numbers do you believe he is worth? Orry, it's a good question for you. How do you feel about your man, Jalen Brown?
I think he got exactly what he's worth. I mean, obviously, the look at first is this is the biggest contract and, the numbers are so high, but this is just going to be a new standard. It's the biggest contract so far, but people are going to dwarf this pretty quickly. The Lucas and the SGAs of the world are going to dwarf this contract, and I don't think we're going to think much of it. I think it was something the Celtics had to do. They really didn't have any other choice, and I think it was a good deal. I think Jalen Brown is a high-quality player, an all-star caliber player who pairs well with Jason Tatum. I mean, it's what they had to do, and I think it's good that they did it.
This is the exact reason why they have the bird rights for guys like Jalen Brown, for guys like Jason Tatum, so you can hold on to your stars and pay them whatever you want to pay them and not worry about the salary cap. So I don't have a problem with it at all.
Do you believe Jalen Brown is – you believe he's the second option, right?
I do. I think he's the second option. Obviously, on any given night, I know Kristaps can be the second option as well. But I think in the genuine pecking order, I think Jalen Brown is solidified as the number two.
So who's the number one?
Be ready, Orry. Be ready, Orry.
I hope it's Tatum.
Oh, okay.
Orry, be ready, bro. You're gonna hear a whole lot of Jalen Brown hate on this channel, and it's exhausting.
Jalen Brown hate? I think we're pretty.
I'm so tired of the Jalen Brown hate. It's really sickening.
Who hates Jalen Brown?
It makes me want to vomit.
Who hates Jalen?
I'm a big Jalen guy.
God. Like Jalen Brown's one of my favorite players.
I'm a Jalen guy.
It really pisses me off.
Yeah, he's such a great ambassador for the league too. You know,
Mars, please stop.
No one hates him. You just put him at number 20 on our top 50. It's not our fault that we said that was too high. If you put him in his right spot, then no one would have said anything.
I wanted to put him at like 13, but didn't have time.
That's the problem. It's not hate for us to have to say that
sorry.
what we're doing is
No, you heard that right, Swiper. You heard that right. You did.
Excuse my tardiness, everyone. I left my charger at the arena last night. Did I just hear Jalen Brown potentially a 13th best
Swiper,
player?
I wish you would have kept your charger at the arena if you're gonna come on like this.
13.
You my man.
That's why it's not hate. It's not hate.
You my man. Swiper. Don't do this right now.
But I was to hurt me bringing up bonus today, so I support you when you even weren't in the room. But I'm trying to understand, how is Jalen Brown the 13th best player in the NBA? He's not even in the conversation for a 1A in the league, not even close. And Devin Booker, let alone, is like the 11th or 12th best player. And there's a league difference between their performance when it matters most. You can't even trust Jalen Brown.
Tell Luka that.
But Jalen can't even play back. He's a negative playmaker in the playoffs. Like, how is he even in the conversation?
He's a negative. See what I'm talking about, Orry? He's
a negative playmaker in the playoffs. Yes,
he's a negative in the playoffs.
Negative playmaker. Yeah, 1,000%. Are we confused about this? Do you want him to hold the ball to make a play for the team? Oh, you know what? If Jalen Brown's the 13th best player in the world, they should be the bona fide favorites to win the championship this year.
They are the bona fide favorites to win the championship.
No, not for real. Not in real life. Not in real life. In Vegas, yes, but we don't believe it.
Vegas, I don't know.
We don't believe it.
I don't check.
We who, Swipe? We who don't believe it. Who's we? Let's make sure. I just want to make sure we talk about. Oh, I absolutely believe it. 100%.
Because I'm gonna tell you like this. Like you would have been real upset. You would have been real upset if Jason Tatum ain't turned his ankle in Game 7, because your boys would have got that ass whooped.
The Heat?
They smoked them. They smoked them in Game 7.
Let's talk about the championship last year.
But who would have got?
You know what I'm talking about. Y'all would have got that.
Who would have got smoked?
You know what I'm talking about, but don't play dumb. You're an intelligent brother.
So let me bring this up.
That was a bad matchup for the Nuggets. The Nuggets did not want that.
Al Horford versus Jokic.
Hold on. What you say about Al Horford?
Matter of fact,
look, we can get on. If you got something bad to say about Al Horford,
I got my charger. I'm juiced now. No. Let me explain this to you. This ain't the Eastern Conference. That's the difference between y'all and Embiid and Giannis. The West ain't sweet. You ain't doing that in the Western Conference. What did Steph Curry do to him?
Look, what I said.
No.
You talking about 2022. I'm talking about 2023.
What did Steph Curry do to that vaunted Celtics defense when it mattered most?
You talking about 22. I'm talking about 23. And on top of that, we can talk about this year. I pray to God that the Nuggets make it out. This is what I want Swiper right now. Swiper, I need you to agree to this right now.
Imagine Jamal Murray and Jokic putting them in the pick and roll.
Hold on, because I need you to agree to this right now, Swiper. If y'all get lucky enough to make it out the West, which I don't think you will, because the Clippers and the Suns are better than y'all, I want to make sure that if that is the finals matchup, I want 150 per game.
150 per game? What do you mean 150?
I mean, that might be too light for you. I know you a high roller. You know what I'm saying? I only got.
He wants to put 150. He wants to put 150 on every game.
All I got is 150 the game. You know
what's the series, Big Ox? What's the series?
The series is Clippers in 5. No, I'm sorry, Celtics in 5.
So the series is the Celtics.
The series is
Celtics in 5. So what's that? 600? Yeah, that's 600.
Wait a minute.
Minus the 150, you'd have to give up losing one game.
Wait a minute. Chill. Answer me this. Riddle me this, historian. When have the Celtics gotten rid of somebody in 5? Name me the last time that happened.
You always bringing up old shit. Can we talk about now?
Name me the last time it happened. Somebody raised 5. I'm asking for research. Give me some research.
They beat the Nets. They beat the Nets in 4 in 2022.
Well, not just them.
Right.
I think then they beat Philly in 5 games.
In
Then they beat
2018.
They went to 7 games with Embiid.
with Philly. I thought they handled Philly.
It was
In
7 games last
2018,
year.
in 2018, they beat them in five.
Yeah, they beat them in 5 games in 2018.
Well,
You just the question you just asked me was when the last time they handled somebody in 5. So I believe in 2018 they smoked Philly in 5 games.
Since they were a finals level team, which for me is the last 2 years.
Since they've been a finals level team,
they got rid of one team in the first round. Ever since then, there was 7 with the Bucks with Chris Middleton. Then after that they played who they played in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Damn, now Swiper, you're doing all this talking. You want the bet or not?
Miami.
They played Miami, and the only reason they beat Miami that year because Jimmy Butler was hurt. Jimmy Butler got hurt.
Yo, Morris,
in that
Morris,
series.
and Morris,
That's the only
I'm
reason
trying
they won 7, and he didn't win.
to spend some
And
of
then
Swiper
the
money.
next year,
I'm
Trae Young took him to 6.
trying to spend some of Swiper
Trae
money.
Young
You're
took
trying
him
to
to
avoid
6.
it. I see
Put
what's
some
going on.
respect on Trae Young's name.
I see
Put
what's
some
going
respect on his name.
I'll
6.
put my money
Facts.
in my mouth.
And then Embiid had him down 3-2. And if he didn't, they wouldn't have been in the Eastern Conference Finals to begin with. And they were down 3-0 to the better team. And then, Jason Tatum turns an ankle in Game 7. You should have let it go to Game 7. That's your fault, Tatum. Jalen Brown. I don't want to hear this.
Well, anyways, my offer stands. I know you don't want it. I heard what you said. I heard all that, but let that. I'm gonna be swiping. If that series happens, I'm gonna be calling you. You can't duck it for too long.
So wait, I win $150 for every game that the Nuggets win in that series.
So that means once the Celtics sweep, you owe me $600.
You think you would get $600 in that series? I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. You might be in the hole. I'm gonna say this. You'll more than likely be in the hole.
Just say yes or no, bro. I don't need to hear all that other shit. Just say yes or no.
Series, brother.
What he's trying to do,
what
he's trying to do is he's trying to save you some money. That's what he's trying to do.
Don't worry about him. Don't save me no money.
He's trying to save you some money, Ox.
Hey, Swiper, I don't got no money to save. You know what I'm saying? I don't got no money to save. So
I'm not taking your money, Ox. I respect you too much, brother.
I appreciate that.
Yo, for what it's worth, I just want to say I stand with everything Swiper said, especially the Trae comment.
Hey, Rod, nobody respects Trae. Nobody respects Trae what he did last year. Nobody.
It's crazy.
Nobody respects Trae, period, to be honest. I mean, look at the fact that he couldn't make the All-Star team. I mean, I think there's a lot of disrespect out there for Trae Young universally.
Oh, shit.
To a certain extent. I mean, there is some earned stuff, but
damn, that's too bad.
What happened to him?
Robbie Reed used to play for the Celtics. He died.
Damn, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Definitely.
That was a big Rob. Robbie Reed. He started on that '86 team that was in the finals. He was awesome. Yeah. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Orry, do you think that disrespect is warranted?
I think it's tough because people try to put like Trae Young into this like shot chucker, Allen Iverson category, and I understand that his efficiency stats aren't necessarily where you would want them to be per se, but he's such a functional driving force for an offense that I think if you get the right pieces around that, there is something that could be built there. You know, kind of Steve Nash, kind of like where you have to kind of tailor everybody to his specific needs potentially, which makes him difficult to build around. But I think that there's something there. I do. He's got ice in his veins. There's something there about Trae Young. Maybe I'm crazy.
I just think it's crazy how a player can be like the clear-cut best player in their team, take them to the playoffs every year. You don't even think he once, and that was versus the Heat in the first round. We averaged 13 points a game. That happened one time. Other than that, he beat Embiid head-to-head. They were the number 1 seed that year in 2021. Beat him head-to-head. And then, obviously,
Atlanta had no business winning that series, Swiper. They had no business winning that damn series. They didn't. They had no business winning that series.
Not every MVP is a one when it matters most. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Trae Young was like that in the 2021 playoffs. He was really good. But
even though Ben Simmons shut the door on him numerous times in that series. Shut the door on him.
That's the issue with Trae Young is like you watch him play and you see him hit some of these clutch shots and stuff. You're like, man, that guy's got the it factor. That guy's him. And then you look at the data and then you kind of go, oh, wait a second. Is this guy really him? which gives me kind of those Iverson vibes sometimes.
Was Iverson not him?
All right,
Okay,
y'all.
never
We're
mind,
gonna
never
go
mind.
ahead.
I mean, in the sense that like eye test maybe
We're gonna go ahead.
bounces stats sometimes.
Interesting.
Hey, speaking of Iverson, shouldn't the Sixers maybe wait till next year to unveil his statue?
Next
How come?
year.
Well, just because they just unveiled Kobe's in LA, it's kind of like let that do his thing and then do his next year.
Is
I
there a
didn't even know
stat?
there was, I didn't even know there was unveiling a statue of him.
I did not know that. Big Ox.
They said they're about to start working on it. I guess.
Are
it
they
should be-
unveiling
I think-
this
If they're
year?
gonna start working on it,
Yes,
I'm
it was-
assuming it will probably be next season.
No, it said they're gonna unveil. I saw a second ago. I think it's a month or 3 months or something like that. So, yeah, 3 months. I guess that's like, I don't know.
What's that? That's June.
Something like that.
They're gonna be in the finals unveiling statues.
No,
Yeah,
they
so
won't-
maybe
they
it
won't
was
have to worry
1
about
month. It was a month or something. but
No,
they should
Mars,
be-
there'll be a full crowd. There'll be a full crowd. Everybody will be there.
Well, I don't see a problem with them doing it this year. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna
What's the
overshadow Kobe's or anything. Or
Well, no, I don't think it will, but not at all. But what's the difference between the sculpture and the statue?
semantics.
Okay.
That sound like to me.
Just saying, maybe I'm slow on this one.
All right, fellas. We're talking the clear-cut best team record-wise in the NBA at 46-12. They are on a 9-game winning streak currently. They have the best road record. They're 27-3 at home. As we know, they have a stacked unit from top to bottom. MVP candidate to some people, top 3 player to some people, one of the best defenses in the league. Last year, they were good.
We had Ron and then we lost him.
Oh, Ron.
Mm-hmm. We had Ron and then we lost him. Sorry.
I'll ask Mr. Celtics fan Orry. How do you feel about the Boston Celtics this year and how they've been in the regular season? And do you see it translating to the postseason with a finals run or maybe even a championship?
Obviously, I definitely think so. I think the talent is there, like he mentioned. Health is always the biggest concern when you have a lot of talented pieces like this, especially when you're depending so heavily on Kristaps Porzingis. We obviously know that there are some health potential issues there, though he's avoided them over the last 2 seasons for the majority. So I'm hoping we see him healthy in the playoffs because I think he's the biggest piece. He's the biggest difference maker for that unit come playoff time when the game slows down a little bit. So besides health, there's no one in the Eastern Conference that worries me as much as in previous seasons.
That includes the Heat. That includes Milwaukee. That includes those guys.
That includes all of them. Yeah, I Milwaukee in years past scared me much more than they have this year.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like their defense is not nearly what it used to be, and their defense was obviously something that they relied heavily upon for a long time. So I know they have the star potential, and I know they have Dame, and I know they have Giannis, so they can take any game, any given Sunday for sure. But just in a 7-game series, I don't see anybody standing up to the 5-headed hydra that is the Celtics.
No.
Swiper, you seem to disagree.
All right, I got to continue to go around the room. Chill.
Oh, never mind.
You believe that the Celtics are the clear-cut best team in the NBA?
I do think that. Yes, I do. I feel like the way that I felt about Denver last year, that's the way I feel about them. And the addition of Porzingis and the addition of Drew Holiday is the reason why. Drew Holiday does everything that Marcus Smart does, except better. Porzingis adds that element that they didn't have last year, which is scoring big. As good as Robert Williams was defensively, he was not very good offensively, so they couldn't really go to him for buckets. So now you add that element into what they have, and you can use him in multiple ways. He's not just a box player. And you got your dirty work guy in Al Horford. Then you also got your utility guy in Derek White. Jason Tatum does what Jason Tatum does. Jalen Brown does what he does. In addition to the rotation players, I think they're the most complete team in the NBA, like the Denver Nuggets were last year. I think they win the NBA championship this year.
Swiper, do you think the Celtics are clearly the best team in the NBA? And if not, who do you think it is?
Yeah, they're the best regular season team for sure. I don't think their ceiling will not be this high in the playoff. We already know this to be true. We're going to do this again. I think they're a really good team. They're going to win 62 games this year. But I'm telling y'all right now, it's going to be a dogfight between them and the Heat again, and everybody's going to be looking crazy. Why is this going 7 games? The Heat they're not going to beat themselves. They're the best coach team in the league. They're going to be completely disciplined with their game plan. They're deeper than they were last year. And the Heat are going to have everything in the world to prove that last year wasn't a fluke. So I think that the Bucks are obviously going to have some issues. They can win probably 2 or 3 games in that series, but I agree. I don't think that their defensive ceiling right now, even though it's been better with Doc. Again, a lot of this comes down to like shot making. If Giannis is hitting a mid-range jumper at a fairly decent clip, I'm not even saying like 46, but let's say it's like 42, 43, then I think that would significantly help them offensively. And so if he's able to convert those looks, they're going to have a real hard time beating that team just because their defense is going to be a lot better by then. And when it comes to POA defenders, they're not going to be like super solid, but the Celtics are wing driven. I'm not really concerned about Derek White and Drew Holiday like lead option scorers. And so maybe switching and all that stuff with Dame and Malik and everything can have some problems. But the fact of the matter is Giannis and Brook are still going to be at the rim. I think the Bucks will still give them some problems. I think the thing for me is everybody is looking at the Celtics team and saying like, the numbers say they should be this. But me personally, and again, y'all can absolutely push back if you want, there's never been a team that's led the NBA in 3-point attempts like to this degree on this volume that's made it to the finals and won in recent modern NBA history in terms of this much of their shot profile, which is like 46%, if I remember correctly, on Duncan 3.
Think they lead the league? Don't they lead the league? Don't they lead the league in the long ball? Okay.
They do. Yeah. They lead the league in terms of the most portion of their shot diet toward 3-point shots. And I think when you have hot and cold stretches like that, we saw that versus Miami, that if you get – and the thing with Kristaps great in post-ups. He's been really good in post-ups over Jason Tatum. But Kristaps, I think if you put him in post-up situation in the playoff versus the condensed defense, second round, third round, I think you're going to have a lot more issues with that size and physicality. I think players like Bam, players like Brook, they're going to give him some issues if he does try to hunt those matchups. And on the other end of this, again, this comes down to Jason Tatum pull-up shooting. He had a really great stretch of this season where he was shooting very well as a pull-up shooter from 3 and from
in the mid-range too.
Yeah, he was killing it. But outside of that, he's been bad. He's been like in the low 30s on both accounts for most of the year outside of that stretch. So my whole thing is I think some people are really they're very much emboldened by these great regular season numbers. But last year they fell apart at home. They couldn't dominate at home because their defense fell apart in the clutch. Like they just don't have some of the traditional things that I would like to see from a team in a playoff setting that I can rely on. And again, it comes down to best player, Chill. Yeah. If Giannis is healthy and the Bucks are healthy, they're going to give them the work. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they can push them to 7. And nobody up this panel, unless you're maybe, I don't know, depends. I think we can all agree Jimmy Butler is at least in the same tier as Jason Tatum. And come playoff time, he's a better pull-up shooter. He's a better defender. He's just a better scorer. Go ahead. Ron.
No, he's basically he's agreeing with what you're saying. So 2 things, Swiper, to combat what you just said. Well, number one, I think Jason Tatum this year, I think this is the best he's shooting at the rim, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's almost 75%.
And his post-up game is much better.
I think this is the best that he's shooting at the rim. Number 2, when you're talking about a championship level team, one of the great things about a championship level team is that they are able to be chameleons. We can play the way that you play. We don't have to just live with what you do or live with what we do, because there are nights when the long ball isn't working. And it's not like the long ball works every night for the Celtics. There are nights when the long ball isn't working. And when the long ball isn't working, they go to other things like their transition game. They go to other things like their mid-post game with Porzingis. They go to other things like their box game. They go to other things like Derek White being able to shoot. That's the good thing. That's the good thing about having a bunch of other guys who do a multitude of things. Now, sure, our game plan is to shoot the long ball because that's what the league is today. It's not just because that's who they are. That's what the league is today. The league isn't
every team profile,
and that's the reason why every team isn't a championship contender. for that reason right there. It's because this team is one of the best teams at doing that. Now, I also want to mention, to your point when you talked about them not being able to prove that it was a fluke. So sure, they didn't want to prove that it was a fluke the same way that Miami didn't, the same way that Boston didn't want to prove that it was a fluke, because everybody forgets Boston did beat them too. It's not like Miami just owns them. They beat Boston too. I mean, they beat Miami too in Game 7 in their building, in Game 7. So they did do that. And with all of that being said,
hurt excuse as Tatum did though. Like
they
Tatum
did.
Game 7.
They did. Yeah. But Jimmy Butler, I think he was. I don't think that he was as beat up. I mean, we talking about Jason Tatum.
Remember, he missed the game. He missed the game, and then I don't know.
I think it was game 5.
I can't remember. Remember, it was his quad. He had a
right.
quad injury, and he just didn't have the same lift for
right.
For
but with that being said, I think that I'm looking at a completely different Boston Celtics unit from a talent standpoint, not just from a talent standpoint, from a scheme standpoint, defensively, collectively. I think they're the most complete team in the league, and I think.
But the problem is I think the pushback I have for you when you're talking about malleable or a chameleon, they don't have a bunch of ways they can beat you. They have a great way they can beat you that they're better than anybody else at, which is when they're hitting their shot, you're cooked, you're done. The problem is when they got beat by the Clippers, when they've been beat by the Nuggets, when they struggle with the Timberwolves, those teams slowed them down, got them in a half-court setting, and it came down to execution, half-court shot making, and half-court defense, and communication. My whole thing is, if you're telling me, chill, you put them, let's say the Nuggets do make it. If they do make it, could it be Sacramento, as Hawks might be.
Let's say the Nuggets. Let's say them.
Could be the Clippers or whatever. If you get into
it could be Sacramento.
I'm saying, just shout out to you. I'm just trying to make sure you're included in the conversation. So if you put the Nuggets in a half-court setting with them, the Nuggets are going to have by far the best player in the series. We can all agree on that.
They do have the best player in the series. Yep.
And then, so, Tatum, maybe whatever. But the issue is that their two-man game is a real two-man game. They have real actions they're going to get into on every single possession, whereas the Celtics, they're going to either do switching to try to get Tatum on to Jamal Murray or maybe MPJ, but most likely Jamal Murray. Hope that sticks. And then they're going to try to run some pick-and-roll opportunity. They're going to get some ISOs at the high point to nail. But if that's the case, your whole offense is going to be me standing, watching Jason or Drew or Jalen or Kristaps try to cook on an island. And I'm saying if you're going to do that consistently, that's more than likely not going to be the team that's going to get into a two-man game with a dunker spot AG and then Michael Porter Jr. and KCP flanking the corner, both shooting above 42% from three. And you got two of the best shot makers in the league that are hunting down in the middle of your defense. So, and again, just to be honest with you, I also don't know if I believe in the Celtics defense in the playoff because, again, it's not just that, the talent is good. They got cooked defensively last year. Cooked.
You keep bringing up last year, Swiper. Drew Holiday was not on the team. Kristaps, this is a different squad. This is a different squad.
The problem is you can still get Drew off you if you need to. And if I got to worry, and a lot of this is size. If you have the size to combat the Celtics, and again, this is why.
How many teams do though? Since you bringing up the size logic, how many teams do? And then number two, I want to talk about what you just mentioned when you're talking about isolation basketball.
Milwaukee.
So.
She'll tell Milwaukee.
Well, number one, when we talk about isolation basketball, we've seen Jason Tatum not be the best player in a series and will his team back. We've seen that. We've seen them. We saw that against Milwaukee. He wasn't the best player in that series, and they won.
We saw
that happen.
There were clear reasons why the Bucks didn't win that series.
And that
Giannis not that guy, but I mean.
Well, Chris Middleton and Giannis also went 4-16.
He still wasn't the best player in the series. That's the point. The point is that he wasn't the best player in the series.
You have to have the best player with a healthy roster, though.
Of course you do. And with that being said, when I think about the Boston Celtics, when we get into the meat and potatoes of the game, when the game slows down and we have to run offense. It's not like we got what the Clippers had with Ty Lue, where we got 5 guys just standing around the perimeter and we got no action. We do have action. Not only do we have action going to the basket, we have action in the mid post. And don't get me wrong, Swiper, I can appreciate the one-on-one isolation basketball. Because at the end of the day, I can only X and O you for a certain amount of time. It's not like the Denver Nuggets are running these ridiculous actions when we get into the meat and potatoes of the game. It's only 2 guys. It's Jamal Murray and it's Joker and it's dribble handoffs. It's not like they're doing a lot of stuff. So now it's not like they're doing a lot of stuff. It's Jamal Murray. It's Jamal.
One of their main sets is the horn.
Chill it, Swiper. I gotta cut you guys off because I still gotta hear Mars, Ox, and Damo just stepped in the building and he not passing at you.
Damo,
Why ain't he passed
Please,
it yet?
yo, what's the deal? Pass that, fam.
Yo, Damo, you just got here, so I want you to rock right away. Are the Celtics the best team in the league? And if not, who is?
I mean, on paper, I would say yes, but in terms of execution, I would say no. I don't trust their play. I don't trust their game plan, which is live and die by the three, and you're not Steph Curry. I can't get behind. They rely on the three ball too much for me to say that they're the best team. Because any given night when they're not hitting, it's a ton of question marks popping up. And I feel like that's an easy cop out because you can say that for a lot of teams. If X, Y, and Z isn't happening, then are they favored? Like, obviously. But with them, maybe it's a bit of bias. Maybe it's just I'm remembering too much of the past of what comes with this core. They did add Drew Holiday, did add Porzingis, so maybe things will change. But until I can trust them to have a game plan that I actually bang with, I'm not going to say they're the best team in the NBA. On the court. On paper, yes.
So who do you have?
To me, who's the best team? I'm not going to lie to you. The team I don't see my team beating, the Nuggets. The Nuggets are still the best team in the NBA to me.
I'm not on the fence about that. I
And Swiper, I didn't get your best team.
Who do you think Swiper's going to say?
You said not in the regular season. You said in the regular season the Celtics are.
Oh yeah, regular season Celtics. Yeah, they're like a +10 net rating and all that stuff. Yeah, it's definitely the Celtics in the regular season for sure.
So the logic is that once we get to the playoffs, which I can appreciate, once we get to the playoffs,
I wonder who the Nuggets fan is going to say who's the best team in the playoffs. I wonder who.
The Nuggets
Maybe
man.
he's going to be a realist, Mars. No, I'm giving him an opportunity to tell the truth.
This is like asking me who's the best player in the world in 2015, and I live in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm going to tell you the answer that everybody already knows who it is. It's
Kevin Durant?
Yeah,
it wasn't
exactly.
KD. It was not KD.
Oh, my bad.
Just because I'm from Denver, I can't lie to you. You want me to lie? You want me to say it's the Clippers? Yeah, I'll lie. It's the Clippers. It's the Clippers. I believe in it when it matters most.
Valid.
Anybody that knows, come on, man.
Valid. That's valid.
Yeah.
Big Ox, who are the Celtics clearly the best team in the NBA? And if not, who is?
No, they're not clearly the best team in the NBA. They are the best team in the NBA, but it's not like clear. You know what I'm saying? Like, put some respect on the Nuggets. Put some respect on the Clippers. Put some respect on the Suns. And that's what
Put
the
some
love
respect
stopped.
on the Kings. Put some respect on the Kings. Yeah.
No. That's where the love stopped. The love stopped with the Nuggets, the Suns, and the Clippers. That's where it stops. But that's the thing, though. As we all know in basketball, the best you can be the better team and still lose. You know what I'm saying? Like the Celtics can be the best team and the Heat can still pop them. You know what I'm saying? Joel's done, so they're out of there. But the Bucks can win. But I do believe the Celtics are going to win the championship. I do believe the acquisition of Kristaps Porzingis specifically is going to put them over the top. But I mean, Drew Holiday is still one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. I don't care about that game, what Jimmy Butler did in that game against Drew last playoffs. I still got Drew Holiday.
You don't care?
No, I don't care. It's again, it's basketball.
And I do think,
it's basketball. So that shit happens. Like you're gonna get cooked. Like great defenders get cooked because they're the ones playing the defense. Like it's basketball, bro. Like that's just how it happens.
And Drew Holiday.
Sometimes people get hot.
And Swiper, you can't believe that. You cannot believe that Milwaukee team, what happened with that Milwaukee team is going to happen with this Boston Celtics team where they're going to leave him on an island and let him get destroyed like that. So basically what we're going to do, we're going to jump him. That's what we're going to do. We're not going to let that happen. Are you kidding me? I'm just going to let my man get jumped over here. No way am I going to have that. Hell no. No way.
So what you're going to do, you're going to trap Jimmy, give Bam a short roll. It's going to be Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Jaime Hawkins Jr., and the rest of these shooters around the roster going to be wide open by themselves.
What was the circle for?
He's trying to point where everybody's going to be on the court.
Okay, so first of all, they run their offense through Bam. We all know that. They run their offense. He's their primary. He's the guy that they run their offense through, a lot of dribble handoffs. With Jimmy Butler, when they run isolation, I can't see them just leaving Drew Holiday on an island with Jimmy Butler again. That's not.
They don't got to double Jimmy Butler.
And not only that, the scheme is going to change. Plus, I can't see Drew Holiday allowing what happened last year to happen again.
Allowing?
You are
What
not
you
going to
gonna
have
do
that.
about it?
Plus, on
No.
top of
You're
that,
not-
Chill,
no.
on top of that,
What you gonna do
Chill,
about it?
on top of that, Jalen Brown should be guarding Jimmy Butler anyway. It shouldn't even be Drew Holiday anyway.
To do what?
To
To
play
slow
defense,
him down.
to
To
play
slow him
defense, bro.
down. Absolutely.
Like,
To slow
play
him down. I
defense.
can't see 37s, 55, 40. No, we're not having that
What do you
again.
mean?
That's not
What?
happening.
What do
Okay,
you
so
mean
first of
no?
all, okay, I understand that Jimmy Butler picks his game up in the playoffs. I can get with that logic. 100% I can get with that logic. But when Jimmy Butler struggles in a double team, let's not talk like Jimmy Butler's LeBron James in a double. Let's not talk
Why
like
are
Jimmy
you
Butler when he
doubling
gets the
a team
basketball.
full of shooters?
Look,
Why would
You're
you
not
do that?
you're not doubling Jimmy Butler. That's what I'm saying. You're not supposed
I
to
don't think
double
you're
Jimmy
doubling
Butler.
but you actually are, Big Ox, and the reason why you are is because once he get going, we got to get the ball out of his hands.
We don't
And
we
on
don't
top
have to
of that,
double him though.
and
Nobody
the
did.
other thing that we didn't do,
a short roll. Why would you give him a short roll when he put the best playmaking bigs in the league?
it depends
Well, you
on
don't-
who
you
you're
don't-
doubling him with.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
don't
like
double with
we're gonna-
Kristaps. If you do
Right,
double,
you're not
it's
going to double with
that
Kristaps
double.
Porzingis. No, we're not doing
I'm
that.
saying, but
No.
I'm not
That's just
screening.
bad
I'm not
coaching.
screening. But I'm saying, unless I'm running a screen and popping like Duncan Robinson, which you're getting cooked in, by the way, if you do that. But even if you do that, like if I'm bringing Bam
Saying
up,
Duncan
you say
Robinson,
you're going to switch. Well, then we're going to put Bam on a mismatch. And again, forget whatever y'all
Well,
say with y'all.
Swipe it. We can make Jaime Jaquez beat this thing. If we want to
Man,
play it that way, if we
Duncan
wanna play-
Robinson
and I
too,
love-
it's not like
and I
I'm
love-
done-
I love-
it's
I
as good
love-
as-
Hey, I was the first one to say Jaime Jaquez. You know what I'm saying about on this team was you know what I'm
Not
saying?
rookie Jaime Jaquez, though. Not rookie Jaime
Big
Jaquez.
love for
But-
Jaime
but
Jaquez.
why would
Big
I-
love for
why
Jaime
would-
Jaquez.
But why
Damo,
would
you know it's
Spo-
true, Damo. You know it's true, Damo. You know it's true, Damo. Yo, you know that's
Hold
a
on.
fact, Damo. But
That's some
but my
bullshit,
thing-
Damo. Damo, is that some bullshit? Yes or no?
No,
But
it's
why-
not
he
no
may
bullshit. Damo know. been the first. He may have been the first to mention Jaime Jaquez in that draft, but Jaime Jaquez being effective on the Heat, plant my flag. That was me. No, I can't. When
Hey,
as
Damo,
soon
just say you
as
made
soon
it a
as-
hot
as soon as it
line.
happened,
It's a hot song.
as soon as it happened, I was like, no, Jaime Jaquez played 4 years of great basketball at UCLA, and he's ready to play right now. I'm standing on that, and everybody that listens know that. But it's not a competition, Damo. You was on top of things, brother. This like I was the first one to come in here with this great
That's
tank top
crazy.
with the black. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. Well, look,
I didn't even notice that. I didn't even
I
notice
didn't even
that.
notice that until now. I didn't even notice that.
notice
I just noticed
go
that.
change your shirt. Change your shirt, Damo. Go put the Kobe shirt on, Damo.
I think he is going to do that right now. Yes, he is. But to get back
No,
to
wait,
what's like-
no. Chill. Hold on. Why would Eric Spoelstra ever let Joe Mazzulla trap and keep Jimmy Butler in a double and not adjust? Eric Spoelstra about
Which
to
he's
put a
going to.
circle around Joe Mazzulla.
Which he's
so
going
you're
to.
not going to make Jaime Jr. beat me. I'm going to beat you how I want to beat you because you can't do nothing about it. So they're going to have a player advantage, at least a 1-for-1 with Jason Tatum at the top. Bam Adebayo is going to be better than Jalen Brown. And then on top of that, respect to Jalen Brown. Bam's really good in the playoff, by the way. But Eric Spoelstra is by far the best coach in that series.
that part I want to argue. That
So
part I
what
want to
are
argue.
we missing?
Okay, here's what we're missing. Now we're missing a personnel issue because what you're saying to me, this is what you're telling me. You're telling me that with Eric, you're telling me with Eric Spoelstra. So now the personnel that he has with Duncan Robinson, who we've seen countless times shoot and not be great when he's shooting. We've seen him last year in the playoffs. He wasn't awesome last year. He wasn't great last year.
He had
No,
like
he wasn't.
100
How many
shooting
times did I
versus
see him in the NBA Finals? I saw him in the NBA Finals. I saw him in the
the
playoffs.
finals
What?
versus-
Not even
the
the NBA
Nuggets
Finals. I'm
in a
talking
real
about.
defense.
I'm not even talking
In a
about.
real
I
defense.
brought up the finals, but I'm also bringing up the Celtics. I'm also bringing up the Knicks, where he's 2 for 8, where he's 2 for 7 on the long ball, because that's who he is. And if we're gonna put him in that situation to do that, he will do that. 100% he will. So I'm pretty sure that Joe Mazzulla is looking at mismatches going, okay, who are we doubling off of? Because it's not like the Miami Heat have just a plethora of knockdown long ball shooters on the regular, because they don't. That is not true. Add that to the fact that
Wait, what do you mean? They got plenty of shooters, though.
They got plenty of shooters who can shoot on the regular. Is that what we're looking at? No. No, we have some inconsistencies.
What does that mean?
That means consistently. But add that into Porzingis dealing with Bam. So you're talking about Bam in the short roll. Bam being in the short roll, he's not going to be in the short roll wide open because we're not doubling with Porzingis. We're not doubling with Al Horford. We're not doubling with Porzingis. We're not doubling with Al Horford. We're not doubling with Al Big. No, we're going to double.
So you're needing a shooter?
Cam, I got to ask Orry, do you agree with any of this? Whose side are you on with this?
That's tough. They both make valid cases because Eric Spoelstra is, we know he's going to coach circles around Joe Mazzulla. But at the same time, we got to give Joe Mazzulla some credit as what he's done with the talent around him. So, like, I don't know that you guys.
With the
don't
personnel
have to
that's
double
Boston's
Orry,
gonna
Orry,
win this
they
series.
don't
with the
have to
personnel that
double
Swipe is
anybody,
talking
Orry.
about, we can't leave Jimmy Butler on an island with Drew Holiday. We can't do that. Even if we don't double him, he has to know that there's help there.
Drew Holiday needs to be guarding Tyler Hero.
He has to know that there's going to be help there. Because he's going to get beat. That's it.
Drew Holiday needs to be guarding Tyler Hero. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all act like Tyler Hero's not a threat. Drew Holiday, you need to be worried about him. You know what I'm saying? Let Jimmy and Jalen do their thing. You know what I'm saying? That's where it needs to be. I don't even understand why we're talking about Drew Holiday.
Hold on, wait. Jason Tatum's the best defender on that team. Let him do it.
No.
That's how y'all hype him up. But
who hyping up like that? I don't believe that. I've never said that. I've never said that about Jason Tatum.
I've heard it.
Not from me. No, you didn't. But not from me.
I never said from you. I said.
I'm just saying. My take personally. My take is Drew Holiday. You guard Tyler. Jalen, you guard Jimmy. We're not doubling off of any of these guys. We will play.
Worst defender.
Hold on. That's not the point. What I'm saying is we're not doubling anybody. We'll dig if you get beat. We'll play help defense, but you don't need to double anybody on Miami. It's just it's not like that over there. Like they're nice, but it's not like that.
Issue. Well,
that's how you get beat. That's how you lose. That's how you lose trying to double guys that don't need to be doubled.
It's going to be able to switch 1 through 5 for the entire fourth quarter with Bam Adebayo. And they're going to have Jimmy Butler and Bam
Switch 1 through 5. Switch 1 through 5. So you're telling me that you're okay with Terry Rozier and Tyler Hero getting switched on to Kristaps Porzingis?
No, he's talking about Bam. He's talking about
Bam.
But
chill time. That's not how it works. Because if Bam switches on to Drew, where's Drew's man going? You can't switch 1 through 5 with the Celtics. No,
if you're telling me I'm switching and putting Porzingis at the nail versus a guard, I don't know if y'all have watched Porzingis versus guard this year. If you put him at the nail, he's not punishing. He can try to shoot over you, which is cool.
That's the idea.
I know, but I'd rather take that at the nail from Porzingis than to put Jason Tatum.
Take that.
That's cool, but down the stretch of a game, no problem. You're gonna live with something. You got to play the math in.
You're not gonna live with Tyler Hero guarding Kristaps Porzingis. You're gonna get murdered.
No, but the issue is if you try to overhelp. This is the issue. You try to overhelp and overprotect with Tyler Hero, and again, they're going to get their rotations right because they're the Heat. But if they miss their rotation, the issue is they're leaving their corner shooters open. And Drew Holiday, to his credit, has been shooting above 40% for the corner three-point shooter this year. So my whole thing is I just don't want them to get to their bag. Their bag is going to be trying to find open three-point shots.
How are you going to stop us from doing that, Swiper? How are you going to stop us from getting to our bag with the amount of guys? Yes. How is the Miami Heat going to stop them from getting to their bag? When you got Terry, there's no way that you can do that. You don't have the personnel.
And they're going to make them perimeter-oriented shooting.
Even if you are going to make them perimeter-oriented shooter, that's fine. You still can't stop us because you don't have the personnel to slow us down from getting to our bag. You don't have that.
The Heat do a great job. I need to be clear about this. They're one of the best teams in the NBA at limiting drive attempts. They do not let you get to the rim. So the whole point is, once you try to drive, they collapse and recover extremely well.
No. Celtics. This is the reason why I got a top 5 defense in the league.
No, Swiper, you can't. No,
the Celtics are going to do
Wait. You can't keep doing that. We're talking about a 7-game series, Miami in Boston. I'm not talking about what they do against everybody else. I'm talking about Boston. How are you going to stop Boston from doing anything with Terry Rozier, Tyler Hero, and Duncan Robinson on the court? That's what I want to know. You're talking about switching 1 through 5. You cannot do that against Boston.
Why would all 3 of them be on the court? Why would I do that?
They don't got to be on the same court at the same time. But you're telling me Terry Rozier and Duncan are not going to play together? Duncan and Terry are going to play together. Tyler and Duncan are going to play together. It's going to happen. You're going to have 2 of them.
The player they're protecting is Duncan. They're not protecting Terry. They're going to let
don't protect him. Just let him get cooked in.
Let him get cooked. You don't got to protect him. Let him get his ass cooked. Because he can't guard Jason Tatum. He can't guard Kristaps.
I gotta move on.
The issue is the Celtics guarding the Heat on the other end is the problem. But go ahead.
So how come it's not an issue on the other end?
The Celtics guard the Heat way better than the Heat can guard the Celtics.
No,
I disagree with
from a personnel standpoint.
I don't care about that personnel.
Fellas, I gotta ask Orry.
I don't care about
Who are you most concerned about as a Celtics fan? In the East,
You mean-
The Knicks.
Honestly, shout out to Through the Reels, one of my buddies on TikTok, but I think it's the Knicks. I don't want to sound crazy, but they're a Tom Thibodeau-led team with a Tom Thibodeau kind of crew now that they've kind of got OG in the mix. I mean, if they get healthy, obviously Julius Randle's the X factor. Julius Randle, we need to play at least a regular season level in the playoffs. And I think they're dangerous. Something about New York scares me a little bit.
Okay. All right, Mars. Last but not least, I gotta ask you: are the Celtics clearly the best team in the National Basketball Association? And if not, who is?
I want to start with the fact that it feels like Boston never lose and they're 46-12. I have no idea how the Warriors win a season only losing 9 games. That's insane. Because it feels like the Celtics just win every night and they've already lost more games than the Warriors did in a whole year. So shout out to the Warriors for only losing 9 games. But are they by far the best team in the league? No, I don't think so. I think there's only been a few times where a team has been by far the best team in the league, and Boston is, in my opinion, definitely not one of them.
Who are those teams, Miles? In your estimation, this team was by far the best team in the league. Who?
The 2017 Warriors. The 2014 Spurs. The 01 Lakers. Well, the three-peat Lakers for real. The Bulls and like the second three-peat.
And 92 they were too.
The 87 Lakers and like the 86 Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
The 83 Sixers. And then all of Bill Russell's teams.
So in your estimation, it's not really that many teams that have been by far like this team.
And the ones that have been dynasties. So
you wouldn't say the 2012 Heat?
No,
I was thinking the 20. I thought it was the 13 Heat, to be honest with you, Damo. That team that won 28 straight games.
By far better than the Spurs. They were better, but I don't think they were by far better. But that's just my opinion. I mean, there's room for maybe a few extra teams, and there's room for a few less teams. I mean, I just made that up on the spot.
Right.
But the point being was I don't think Boston is in that group of teams. Most of those teams I named are either dynasties or all-time great teams that just didn't last very long. So if you disagree with some of the teams I said, cool. If you think there should be extra teams, I'm not about to argue with you. I made that up on the spot, so don't hold me to that completely. But I think a lot of the points about Boston's one-dimensional, well, I don't think it's one-dimensional, but more one-dimensional attack is valid in terms of teams to lead the league in threes, or like, especially in this modern era. Yeah, I don't think there has been a team that's won, because I think it's been Houston leading the league in threes like the whole time. So yeah, they haven't won. And like any team that led the league in threes back in the day, I mean, they weren't shooting 43s a game. I know Hakeem's Rockets led the league in threes. Like, I know that for a fact. But they were shooting like 20 a game, so I can understand the difference. But I think Joe Mazzulla gets underrated in terms of some of the things he's done this season. I think he's done a pretty good job as a coach this year. Now, he's not no Eric Spoelstra or anything, but I do think he's done a pretty good job, and people seem to just act as if it's just all because of the talent. Some of the ways in which he's implemented some interesting defensive schemes, some of his after timeout plays, they're pretty interesting. And you can see, like, I think he understands the game and knows what he's doing. So he deserves some credit for that. But by far the best team in the league, no. I think Denver, obviously, are a team that is extremely strong. The Clippers are on a little bit of a down spell right now, but I still think they're a very strong team. The more I watch OKC, the more intrigued I am about them. I don't know if they beat the Celtics or anything, but I'm very intrigued about them.
What about
So,
them? What about them intrigues you, Mars?
The fact that the more I watch them, the more I'm of the belief that number 3 is going to play less than 20 minutes a game in the playoffs. So I think them having that level of floor spacing is going to be very interesting. Mark Daigneault, I think, is a better coach than Joe Mazzulla. I think the way they are able to create space for guys like Jalen Williams and Shea is also very good. And when you're talking about one of the best driving teams in the league, I mean, OKC is like right up there. And then they also can make the 3 at a very high clip, but they have some of the best isolation scorers. It's no wonder their half-court offense is the best in the NBA. So they just have so many ways to beat you in the half-court, but then they're also one of the best transition teams. They do a hell of a job of getting deflections and running because Shea and Jalen Williams have some of the longest arms I've ever seen. So if you wanted to implement some zone principles, you can have those 2 at the top of the zone. Then really you have Chet as a mobile big who can really anchor that middle of that zone. You don't really give up too many advantages. I'm not sure how Boston would counter that, like if they were to meet in the finals, because Chet can match Porzingis' size, and Porzingis isn't exactly a physical big. He's more of a finesse shoot over you. How do you shoot over someone who's 7'1" with a 7'6" wingspan? I don't know. So there's just a few things I think OKC could do if they were to make it that far. So I don't think they're by far the best team in the league. I think they're the favorites in the East. If I were to pick a team that I think could rival them in the East, it would probably be, I mean, if Philly were healthy, I think they'd be a tough matchup, but it would probably be the Heat or the Bucks. I'm not very high on the Bucks, but the Heat is probably the best matchup for them. I do lean towards agreeing with Swiper in terms of how he views that series going in terms of what Miami could do defensively and how they could counter some of what Boston does defensively. And Miami have lineups that they can run where they can switch 1-3-5. Like if you run Jimmy, Bam, Jaime, Hayward, Highsmith, Caleb Martin, you got DeLon Wright there too, who's a very good defender. Like they have options. So if you were in a stretch down the stretch of a game and you wanted to have that opportunity, you could. Now you wouldn't run that for 48 minutes, but for a 4-minute stretch, but you wanted to really stifle Boston, I think they could do it. So yeah, I think this is the most parity the league's ever had. I don't think there's any team that's by far the best in the league, and I think that's a good thing for the league. I think it's always better when there's no team that's by far better than everyone. So
one of the things that
Boston might be the best, but are they by far? No. And do I think they're the best? Probably not, but maybe.
Joe Mazzulla, he's going to be tested on how he takes advantage of mismatches, because he's going to have some mismatches because the Miami Heat, because those other teams, Cleveland, those teams with the personnel that they have, you're going to be able to create mismatches. You guys are not just going to be able to shoot on the long ball line all night. Okay, you're not also going to be able to just get to the rim. How are you going to be able to utilize those mismatches that when you get Donovan Mitchell switched on to a bigger guard like Jason Tatum? How are you going to be able to utilize those mismatches when you get Tyler Hero switched on to Porzingis? When you run those 1-5s, how are you going to be able to utilize those? Where are you going to put those guys and put them in position where they're going to be able to score? I think Joe Mazzulla is a better coach than we give him credit for. Swipe, I will not put him in the same category with with Spo. I think Spo is a better coach, but I do think that we have to give him more credit than he has, simply off the strength that, number one, it's his second year coaching. Number two, with the unit that he has, this thing could have went the other way. Because when you got a unit like that, there's a trust issue that most units like that have. But they trusted him and they trusted the system. And with them trusting the system, they are where they are. It's not like this is the team where he just rolled the balls out and said, yo, go get them. Nah, they had to get on his page. And they did do that. So I do have to trust him in that aspect. The thing that I'm worried about with this Boston Celtic unit is not defensively. I'm concerned with how he takes advantages of mismatches, in specific series, how he takes advantage of those.
All right, fellas. I do want to bring this to your attention. And this is one thing that was glaring and alarming to me in terms of the Celtics. Check out the screen. This is best point differentials in NBA history. This current Celtics team is at 11. But the only 10 teams to have a better point differential are the 2007-2008 Celtics, the 91-92 Bulls, the Spurs in 15-16, the Warriors in 15-16, which that's crazy that two teams in the same year had that same point differential. The Bulls in 96-97, the Bucks 90 or 71-72. The Warriors in 16-17. Both in 95-96. The Bucks again in 70-71. And then the Los Angeles Lakers with the best point differential of all time in 71-72. Chill, what does this mean to you?
That
What does
you're matching them up against all-time great teams, and it looked like it's a recipe for success because these teams are all-time great teams. So the Celtics are clearly doing something right. So if they continue to do what they're doing, if history tells me this right here, they should win the NBA championship because all of these, I mean, that Laker team, they smoked the Knicks in 5 games. Smoked them in 5 games. So, I mean, if history tells me what this is telling me, that the Boston Celtics are going to win the NBA championship.
That was the Milwaukee Bucks 71 team? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, well, the Bucks were on there twice. They were on there at 2 and 5. 70-71.
That's the one.
They had the second best point differential at 12.26. And at number 5, the 71-72 had the 5th best point differential at 11.16.
Can you pull that list up again, please? Just for the visuals, possible?
Yeah, I got you.
That's 70. They went to the finals in back-to-back seasons. I think they went to the finals in 72. I don't think they went to the. No, they didn't go to the finals in 72. They lost to the Lakers in the West Finals in 72.
So let's go through this real quick. I'm going to point out to Chill the difference. Number one, I see. What year is that? 71, 72. Cool. So they had Hall of Famers on that team. Bucks, Hall of Famers on that team. Bulls, Hall of Famers on that team. Golden State, Hall of Famers on that team. Bucks again, they didn't win. Bulls, Hall of Famer on that team. Chicago Bulls, Hall of Famers on that team. That 08 team, they had Kevin Garnett leading that team with Paul Pierce and Ray Allen and Ray John Brown had one of the best playoff runs of his life. The difference is that this Boston team has none of those players. They don't have a Hall of Fame player at that level at this point in time. Tatum could get there. I think Tatum definitely could get there one day. But if you're just talking about just player for player, peak for peak on those teams winning a championship, for me, that's also one of the other differences, that collectively they are a unit. They're extremely good. But the problem is they're more than likely, depending on who they match up with out of the West, it's going to be either Kawhi, it's going to be either Joe, or if Anthony Edwards and then make it out, then the whole story is different. I'm picking the Celtics in 5 at that point. But I don't think they're coming out. But I think some of this is, like, if they play against some of these other players, man, like, they're going to be playing against all-time great level players.
Swiper, we've already seen this, though. Swiper, we've seen them win a series when they didn't have the best.
Is Jackson Tatum a Hall of Famer?
No, I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying, Swiper, but we've already seen them win a series where they didn't have the best player in the series. We've already seen that.
But I'm saying those teams. Those teams weren't healthy, though. I'm sorry, that Bucks team wasn't healthy. They didn't have their best player.
Even if that's the case, they still didn't have the best player in the series.
And they almost went down, even though they were missing one.
And what did it take? It took a Herculean performance from the second best player in the series in order for them to win, and he did that, right? So when you're talking about that Milwaukee Bucks team that won the NBA championship,
I hate to cut you off, but unfortunately we've been halted by a $25 super chat, $33.75 exactly in Canadian. It said, "Who would y'all put in your Mount Rushmores of each decade?"
That's a great.
Are we doing the 40s and 50s?
No. Put it in the 90s.
See, you guys love to disrespect the old generation, but somehow I'm trying to include them in here, man. Well, I guess
We're gonna go back 4 generations. All right.
We'll start in the 90s, I guess.
In
no
the
love for
90s.
the 80s. Wow.
is that 4 generations or is that 3? The 90s would be 3 generations. I'm thinking if we go back to like the 70s.
Ron don't want to respect the
80s, the 70s, and the 80s. That's 4 or 5 generations. If we're doing that,
Ron don't want to respect those eras, man. We got to start with the 90s. We got to start with the 90s.
Yo, Mars, I don't know no players in the 40s, bro.
Respect Joe Folks and George Mikan. Come on, man.
I mean, with George Mikan, but that's I don't know any players in the 40s like that, bro. Call me what you want. I guess I'm a casual.
Man, come on, man. You gotta know about it. You gotta know about this night. There's 40s.
So are we going up to 2020, or you want to start 70 to 2010s?
No, we gonna start in the 90s.
You know,
We're not going.
We can't do the 70s. We're not showing love to Kareem.
We don't have enough time. If we did, we could. But
it's impossible to name 4 players, man. Can't do it.
Or can you give me your top 4 players in the 90s?
Did he freeze?
It looks like
he
froze.
Yeah, he did.
He froze.
Or he's having a very good staring contest.
And he's
We'll
winning
circle
too.
back to Orry. Damo. Mount Rushmore of the 90s.
My Mount Rushmore in the 90s.
And Damo, don't judge. I already see that look, that smirk on your face. Don't you start it, Damo. Don't you start it. I already see that smirk on your face. So say it. Say it before you even get
for clarification.
There is no clarifications. Before we even get started, Damo, say it first. Say the first name. Say it, Damo.
The first name, Hakeem
Say it.
Olajuwon.
Here we go. Here we go.
What?
What difference does that make? He's Hakeem's on there for sure.
Keep going. Keep
Hakeem's
going.
on there.
Keep going.
Yes.
Damo. Look at that smoke. There it goes. There it goes.
Your laugh,
Keep going,
your
Damo.
laugh is making me laugh, man. That's all it is. Karl Malone.
This is good.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just thinking about the 90s, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about basketball. I'm sticking basketball. Charles Barkley.
Damo is so nasty. He is disgusting. And then
I'm sorry.
But
I'm sorry.
last
They dominated the 90s. There's no way I can't say his name. Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen, yes.
Hold on.
That's
Hold
my
on.
Scottie. Hey, this is my thing. This is my thing.
Cam.
Scottie on the Mount Rushmore.
All right, Ox, I'm going to ask you the 2000s. Who you got?
2000s?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Easy. KG. Tim Duncan.
Here we go.
He's trying to get T-Mac in there.
No, T-Mac
really
on
is.
there.
He
T-Mac
really
is
is.
on there. You
He's
know,
seeing
T-Mac
it.
is not
Do I
on
leave
the
off
Mount
Kobe or do I
Rushmore
leave off
2000.
Shaq? That's what he's
right.
thinking
Hey,
right now.
Mark, see,
one?
Mark,
Do I
you
leave
going,
off
I'm
Kobe or
like,
Shaq? That's what he's doing.
Just leave them
I
both
can't
off. Be
leave-
completely nasty. Dirk on it.
Ah, you're right. You're right. Okay. So let's do this. Okay, we got T-Mac, Tim Duncan, KG. Damn, that's disrespectful. No, because Shaq could go lightweight be in the 90s. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Bean. Go ahead, Bean.
What? Shaq won an MVP in the 90s and 3 Finals MVP in the 2000s, rather.
Yeah, that's cool. He can. What I'm saying is I'm gonna leave Shaq off this Mount Rushmore because I can make an argument to put him on the Mount Rushmore in the 90s. So just out of respect.
Hakeem was in there and Malone.
Swiper, this is my Mount Rushmore. And T-Mac, and there's no way T-Mac's not on there.
All right, Swiper, you got the
Somehow we can't do
2010.
Swiper, I know you're new to the fam, Swiper, but this is the kind of nonsense that we got to deal with on the regular. So,
Look, I might as well say LaMarcus Aldridge in 2010 since we're going this direction.
There's no comparison to Lamar.
And no one's going to argue with you, buddy. It's your Mount Rushmore.
Nah, whatever.
Just having
Whatever.
random
Damo,
minutes
I
as
know
Paul
you,
George
I know
is his
you're
goat. Like, what we
you left Jordan off, Damo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, clown.
You got some nerve.
And I'll make another Mount Rushmore and leave him off again. What are we talking about?
No.
Taking years off my life, I'm sure it is. I am certain that.
2010s, obviously LeBron James. Then there's a gap, and then the second tier of Mount Rushmore going to be Stephon Curry.
Yes, Damo, it is.
Since when does a Mount Rushmore have a gap? I thought it was just all four of them.
Well, I'm making my own Mount Rushmore. I would have a second.
Oh, so
tier
we're
Mount
just changing the sculpture now.
We ain't putting the best players on. We also doing that. So why not?
I didn't know we were changing into the design.
Why not?
I mean, I
We ain't
guess.
putting the best players
I
on.
didn't know we were
So
doing
I'm sorry,
that. Maybe we
Swiper,
are,
as
then,
you
yeah, I
were,
guess.
as you were, Swiper.
As you were, it's crazy. I got LeBron, then put Steph Curry, and then Kevin Durant.
Okay.
And that 4th spot is tough, man. I'm not gonna hold it. There's a few
Go ahead
players
and
that can
say
get
it.
in there.
Go ahead and put Mr. Triple Double up there.
Who?
Russell Westbrook.
Mr. Triple Double.
Over Kawhi Leonard, Ron, relax.
Bay Area Kemba.
Man, that 4th spot, bro.
There should have been
tough,
3-time
bro.
MVP. Go ahead and put him on there. There should have been 3-time MVP.
Who's that?
Kawhi Leonard.
He thinks it's James Harden.
Who are you talking about, Mars?
James Harden. There
He
should have been
thinks
3-time
James-
MVP.
He
You
thinks
think
it's James
James
Harden.
Harden?
Yeah, easy.
What year should James Harden win the league MVP?
17, 18, and 19.
So 3 straight years he should have won it.
Yes.
And
Kawhi
17.
should have won in the 19.
Arguably in 15, he should at least have 3, maybe 4. To be honest,
What's his case in 17, Mars?
Mr.
he
Triple
was
Double.
better than Russell Westbrook,
Wait a minute. By
and he
the
was
way,
a higher seed than Russell Westbrook. The only reason Russ won it is because of 2 rebounds. That's it. That's the only case for us.
You know you left Dwayne Wade off, right, for T-Mac. I just want you to remind me that.
Yes, he did.
And Swipe, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again tomorroa.
I got James Harden. This is my fourth player.
LeBron James off too.
Yeah, that's a 3-time MVP.
He left James off too, by the way.
Before I put LeBron on there, I'm putting Carmelo on there.
There should have been Rookie of the Year. You're right. There should have been Rookie of the Year. Yeah,
that's a fact. That's a fact, Mark. Tell the story.
Yeah,
got robbed.
Didn't help the agenda, I guess. He put KD study. Lock in, man. He said LeBron, Steph, KD, and James Harden. Lock in. Listen.
Or you back good?
Yeah, sorry about that. My son just ran by and unplugged the thing, and I was like, oh.
You gonna pay attention to me, Dad. I know what you got going on, but no, I'm over here too.
You should ask Orry about the 80s.
Yeah, I got kids. They understand how this works. So
yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. I missed the Mount Rushmores. What's the?
They've been bad. They've been bad. They've been bad. They've been bad.
For the 90s, for the 90s, my Mount Rushmore of the 90s was Karl Malone. It was Karl Malone, Hakeem. It was Scottie Pippen,
Charles Barkley. Yeah,
that was my.
And mine for the 2000s was Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, and Tracy McGrady.
Okay.
And Cam, what was yours?
And Swiper's 2010 one was
LeBron, Steph, Durant, and then James Harden.
All right, Orry, I'm going to give you an opportunity. You can either project your Mount Rushmore for the 2020s, or you can do the 80s. What you want to do?
Do the 2020s. You know you want to do it. Tell the story.
Let's do the 2020s.
No one wants to show love to the old heads, man. Damn.
Projected Mount Rushmore is
everybody listen up.
Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum.
Oh my gosh!
Right there. Everyone's gonna get mad.
No one Embiid on there, even though he's cleared Tatum.
Is he though? Is he clear Tatum? Yeah. I mean,
what are we doing? Okay.
Wiper is a certified Celtics hater, bro. Certified Jason Tatum hater, bro.
He hates
Joel Embiid. Are we being serious?
I feel like y'all overrated Embiid at this point. I don't know.
Big time overrated Embiid.
What? But so we overrated Embiid.
The last time we did a player ranking, this man Domo went and put Embiid in the top 3. Now we overrate Embiid. Okay.
All right.
Domo using all his trolls on a Friday. I like to see him.
Hey, I'm not on the troll budget, buddy. I'm not. That's not
you using as many as you can before the show's over. You using as many as you can.
I'm not relapsing when I troll.
This is the terrorist coaching.
He using every troll he has.
This is a good call to action to tell everybody to like the video, to also shout out our new subscribers and all of our new members. Welcome to the Players' Choice team. Welcome to the Players' Choice family. We love having y'all over here. Shout out everybody in the chat that's active.
Get it together, Ron.
To end. We will be on playback today. It's gonna be chill, and it's gonna be JD. Yes, it's gonna be the Celtics versus the Mavericks. So you guys tap into that. It's gonna be an amazing game.
Bozo JD, straight bozo.
It's gonna be chill and bozo head JD.
Bozo.
Tap into that game. It's gonna be an amazing game. Also, join the Telegram group. It's a lot of hoop being talked, a lot of football, a lot of sports in general. Great time, great content, great debates, and all of that good stuff. Make sure you join. It's a 2-week free trial period. Go ahead, jump in there, have the time of your life. And last, but certainly not least, we'll be shooting from the logo on March 5th. Be ready for this show. It's coming up soon here in a couple days. It's going down. I'm telling y'all it's going down. All right. Keeping it pushing, keeping it lit. Fellas, we got super chats. So let's start from the top. Nevro P4202 said, what is the panel?
What does the panel think of the Heat picking up Delon Wright? Do you think he'll provide value in the postseason?
Yes, absolutely.
I believe so.
Gonna be locking in on Jalen Brown.
I'm waiting for Taylor to show me something. That's what I'm waiting for.
What
Yeah.
you mean? T-Roll
Yeah,
showed something
well-
last night. He showed something last night.
Nah, man. I've been disappointed in what I've seen, man.
He had some clutch buckets to get them back in that game.
Nah. I need to Rozier to lock
He was
in,
another
man.
guy, especially with Tyler Hero not being there. He was a guy that they can go to create his own shot in the clutch. I thought that showed something. That showed his value on the team.
No, what I expected to see, man. I need him to lock in, man. By the end of the season, I need Terry Rozier that I expected.
Naptown with the super chat said, I want to know you guys' opinion on Ben Mathurin. How do we feel about Benedict?
He's the
Oh
front
my
runner.
goodness. Okay, I just did a video about Ben Mathurin. Did you know that last year in his rookie season, he had a PER of 13.1 and a true shooting percentage of 56.6, right? This season so far, in 60 games almost, he still has a PER of 13.1 and a true shooting percentage of exactly 56.6.
Same dude. Are we dealing with the same dude? Is that what we're doing? So essentially, we got the
just-
same dude that we had from last year.
Basically,
Now that's
his
what it looks like on
3-point
the, that's
percentage.
what it looks like on the number.
I gotta tell
His
the truth,
3-point
Orry.
percentage
I
is
gotta tell the
higher.
truth, Orry. I don't know what that means.
PER is player efficiency rating. It's a
That's what it
stat
means.
derived from the box score to total one's contributions over the
Yes.
course of a game. It's all positive contributions over the negative contributions to get a number. Great PER is often above 25. Below average PER is often below 10. I believe that's how PER.
Fox, how do you not know what PER is? As much as we talk about PER up there, how do you not know that?
Because when
And
y'all
true
start talking about PER,
Because he just tunes it out because he agrees that it's a stupid stat. And then true
I
shooting.
want to know what the
true
formula
shooting
is.
a-
Mars. I need to know
Oh,
the
it
formula.
gets complicated.
It gets
Very
complicated.
And
Yeah.
then
I'm glad you said it.
shooting is a measure of scoring efficiency, weighing.
Because
the
I was
value
thinking the
of
same
plays and
thing.
shooters.
I just wasn't gonna say nothing. I was like, okay, he plateaued.
And you
Ooh.
gotta lock
Same
in.
stats.
Y'all gotta pick up your basketball knowledge. Okay?
No, I don't.
I'm gonna be honest. You
This
look
dude.
at the formula for PER, you'll realize, I don't really care about that stat that much.
It's not that I don't care
Yeah.
about it. Let me say, when it comes to advanced stats, if I don't understand it, if I don't know it, cool. I'm not gonna devalue it. Like when he just brought up the PER and everything like that, I didn't want to devalue like, oh, whatever. I just took it with as best context as I can when it comes to these stats. He said he plateaued. All right, he plateaued. Now, from what I've heard about PER, I felt 56 was relatively a good number, right?
No,
Like,
13, his PER is 13. His
Oh,
true
13.
shooting is
True shooting was
56.
56. The
Yeah.
true
If
shooting
his
was
PER
cool.
was 56, he'll be the greatest player of all time, statistically.
Right.
By a
But-
wide margin.
I'm with you, Ox. I was like, I don't know what any of this means, but all right, Benedict, you ain't approved.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wasn't trying to devalue it.
and
by any-
March-
by any
Yeah,
means.
he was just asking what it was, so I just explained. And then true shooting is just a measure of scoring efficiency, valuing threes as 50% more than twos because that's how much they are worth. And then free throws, measuring them accordingly as scoring efficiency, balancing it all out for how much they are worth. It's just a better efficiency metric than like field goal percentage. That's it.
Exactly. And I just think it's funny that like it's the exact same as it was last year. Typically, obviously, year to year, there's at least some sort of differentiation. So for it to be still 56.6 for 2 seasons is kind of wild.
So
Can I
is
ask
it
you a
good or
question?
bad?
And which player is this?
Benedict
Mathurin.
Mathurin.
Ben Mathurin. Yeah.
But Ori, is that
Oh,
a
so
good
negative
thing or a
true
bad thing? That's what's going on. Having the same
Some
number.
Well,
negative
it doesn't show, I guess, any progress directly. I mean, obviously, you look into the context a little bit more. His points per game are a little down, but his 3-point percentage is a little higher. So he's still contributing at a what would you call him? An elite role player, maybe a mid-level role player, kind of in that tier. But
He's elite.
he just the stats alone just say that there's not a total lot of growth there. I think obviously there has been some growth, but it's just a unique thing to see it be exactly the same for 2 straight seasons.
Can I ask a quick question? And this is staying on advanced stats. Is per 30, and I don't know if I asked this before, is per 36 a hypothetical stat to y'all?
I hate it.
It is hypothetical, yeah, because if you're
Yeah,
using
I
a player
mean,
who doesn't play 36 minutes, yes, it's hypothetical.
right.
The reason I hate it, Damo, is because I've once used per 36 to boost my own stats. So I hate it. I know the direct effect it has when you do that. So I hate it.
But y'all
per
would agree
possession
hypothetical.
per possession stats are better than per minute stats anyway. My humble estimation, but they're hypothetical.
Hey, Chilltown, did you just hear Ron though? Chilltown?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
You didn't hear when he said that Ben is a elite elite role player, but just a couple months ago, Tyrese
no talent.
Yeah, the
No
Pacers had no
talent.
one. Yeah,
None.
nobody
No talent on it. None.
Fellas, we gotta
Zero.
move on. We got
Stick
super
around.
chat. We gotta
Stick
give the
around.
people their
So
money.
We
stick
got
around.
super chats.
It's your man. Ox, how many times I gotta tell you that? It's your man.
Hey,
Oh,
and
man.
Chill, you can focus on what I gotta say. But Wayne got something better to say to you. He said, chill, exclamation mark. James Worthy, 6th man of the year today?
Don't get my blood pressure up. No.
Would he win it?
First of all, he'd be the best.
Yes,
power forward
Mars.
in the- He'd be the
Even
best
if he was a
power forward in the
rotation
NBA.
player, which he's not by the
So what
no,
serious
Mars,
question.
he would not.
Chill, all trolling aside. Serious question. What does James Worthy look like in the NBA today?
If James
Put him on
Worthy
the
played
Pacers
in-
and he's an all-star.
if
Put him on
James
any
Worthy
team, he's an
played-
all-star, Morris.
Oh no.
So if James Worthy played in today's game, so if he was playing with Trae Young, the distributor Trae Young was in the transition player that James Worthy is, the one-on-one player that James Worthy is. Number one, Atlanta's a much better team. I think that they may be a top 5 seed in the East with James Worthy on that team. The one-on-one play is, the transition play is, how Trae Young finds guys in transition, how he finds guys in cuts and things like that. I think that James Worthy would be fantastic on that crew. So if we put him in Indiana, he's definitely we're having a conversation as with him being one of the best, if not, well, I won't put him ahead of Giannis, but I can't name 3-4 men. I won't put him ahead of Giannis. No, I won't. But I can't name.
I will.
I can't name 3-4 men better than him in today's game. If he's in Indiana playing with Ben Mather, playing with Halliburton, no, I can't. The transition player,
He'll all-star for sure. Yeah.
100%.
Put him in Houston, he ain't all-star. I can guarantee you that. But
Besides Giannis, you can't name one power forward in the NBA that's James Worthy.
yeah, because the next best power forward is Julius Randle.
and he clears Julius Randle.
It's not saying much. The power forward position is just kind of weak.
It's more. It's not the only reason why the power forward position has depleted is because all the fours or used to be
Play
fours
the
have
five.
got moved to centers.
Well, to be fair, Kevin Durant plays 4 and Jason Tatum is 4.
That's
so.
true.
But for some reason they still get
Bron
counted as
as well,
small
though,
forwards.
too.
But yeah, if you include
DeMar
KD
DeRozan is listed as a 4 man. What we doing right now, y'all?
And he's not good.
Because he ain't a 4. That's why.
He's not good.
He can't play.
But KD is a
he's not a good player right
KD
now.
is a power forward.
Yeah, but Swiper, relax though. He's not good.
He's a good player, but he's not like. To his point, like he wouldn't be in a conversation with James Worthy. Like, it wouldn't even be
Right.
like,
No, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I hear you.
They'll be like, oh, DeMar DeRozan's also a power forward. That's how that conversation.
Yeah, but DeMar got listed as a power forward that. What year was it? Like 20 when he was on the Spurs, I believe.
21 when they.
I say wasn't the Spurs year?
But he's been playing the 3 like the last 2 years.
He's always been a shooting guard to me, always. So
Yeah.
James Worthy is a
Why is-
4 man. I think
Why is he rotting away in Chicago anyway?
DeMar DeRozan-
because Chicago think they can do stuff. But KD has been a 4 since he's come back from his Achilles. He plays the 4.
Wait a minute. What do you think? So Swiper, what do you think DeMar DeRozan is? Because he plays the 2. He's always played
He's
the 2.
not a 2 at all. He can't shoot. He can't defend. He can't play the 2, which is
Not
why
a
they put him
money
at the 4.
mid-range game. He
No,
wasn't a
no,
good mid-range.
DeMar DeRozan plays the 3. That's what he does. He plays the 3.
Yeah, but
He
their
plays the
best
3
lineup-
now.
Their best lineups
Yes,
when
he's
they
a
were
3 now.
good with the Bulls were when him at the 4. The problem is because they had Caruso, they had Lonzo, they had Levine, and they were playing DeMar at the 4. The problem is DeMar is not good enough as a defender to play on the perimeter. He sucks on defense. He's not a good trailer, but he's also not a floor spacer. So by him having at the 2, you can't have like a requisitely like a great to elite level offense or even a very good offense just because you can't have a lack of floor spacing out there with Kobe White sitting at the point guard and then Vooch, and then they got like Patrick Williams. Like the whole lineup doesn't work. When Lonzo was there and Caruso was there, they were great. And when Levine was there, they were great. They were the number 1 seed, but DeRozan was playing the 4 at his apex.
Small ball lineup. Yeah, with the small ball lineup.
That's what it was.
With the small ball lineup.
Orry, I gotta ask you. So you think that DeMar DeRozan should be gone? He should be somewhere else. He should be on a contending team.
I don't know what Chicago's doing. So like right now, DeMar DeRozan is playing the 2nd most minutes he's played in any season except for the 2014-2015 season. And like what are the Bulls, like Mars said, I guess, they still think that they are something when DeMar DeRozan could be a third option legitimately anywhere and could do a lot for a contending team. So I guess it's just one of those situations where you'd hate to see him just be kind of wasted away. And, he's still a 22-point scorer, still, captain of the mid-range. I don't know. It's just weird to see him in that spot.
And can shoot the three. And can shoot the three. He doesn't live behind the long ball line. I think the barometer which Swiper lives on is that if you can't shoot the three like Steph Curry, if you can't shoot the three like these best guys, then you're almost irrelevant at the 2-guard spot. Swipe, nobody is shooting the long ball like that.
That's not what I said. KCP is a better 2 option than DeMar DeRozan is, for example, because you can do more with KCP. And so I think what people have to understand, like unless you have a superstar level ceiling, which DeMar does not. DeMar has to fall underneath, and again, respect to DeMar. He's been an All-NBA player. He was top 10 in the MVP race in 2020, 2021. But as of right now, DeMar is not good enough to be a lead option on a playoff team that's viably trying to get into the playoff. And the problem is that I don't want DeMar DeRozan. And if you want to play him as a 2-chill, you're basically saying that like we're going to have. I don't even know a lineup. Like, if LeBron James and Anthony Davis are on the court with DeMar DeRozan, they would get worse probably because LeBron needs spacing around him. And DeMar's not a spacer. And so if you put DeMar next to, like, I don't know, like Embiid or something like that, maybe. Right. But the issue is, it's like,
Cam, you are off the rock, go ahead, bro. You're losing it. I can't believe you guys sat up here and let Cam.
Only what he's doing is talking and I'm listening. Hold on,
what's the issue? I'm gonna say,
Ron. Because if I said something like that, y'all would dive in.
No,
if I come up
say it. What's the pushback?
The pushback to that.
What?
If you said something like what?
KCP's in the same conversation as DeMar DeRozan.
That's not what he said.
No, that's not what he said. That's not what he said.
So I mean, yeah. If he said KCP and DeMar DeRozan in the same conversation, I guess we would have some pushback. But he didn't say that, so that's why we don't.
Yeah, the idea is that KCP is a better 2 option.
He said he's a better
because he's able to do more.
Not as a player.
Shooting guard.
He's a better option at shooting guard.
Shooting guard.
With that too.
Yeah, so you have the
but
pushback.
That's fine. You can push back. I don't think he's.
I don't have the pushback. So
that don't make no sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Go ahead and push back.
DeMar's skill set.
I'll be the host for a while. Ron, go ahead and be a panelist. Go.
Denver right now is better with DeMar DeRozan.
No, they are not. They are not.
Why are they better, Ron?
You guys get caught up.
I'm trying to figure out why they better with DeMar DeRozan. Why they better with DeMar DeRozan?
It's hard to cook up when you can't say more than 2 sentences in a row.
Why are they better with DeMar DeRozan? Who? Don't get me wrong. I think Swiper is wrong on the floor spacing because when you're talking about floor spacing, you don't have to be at the long ball line to have floor spacing. You do not have to be 23, 25 feet away from the basket to have floor spacing. No, that's not where you have to be. But with that being said, you're muted. Can't hear you. Yeah, you're muted.
You better than me. I'd have just let him keep talking. I just kept talking over him.
You don't have to. I don't think that you have to be at the long ball line. I don't think you have to be 22 feet away from the basket for there to be floor spacing. I can still play in the mid range. I can still play 18 feet away from the basket and still have spacing. How much space does Joel Embiid really need on the box if I'm 17 feet away from it? How much spacing?
The question you're going to have to ask yourself then, if you're doing that, you're limiting the floor spacing around a player, which is cool. You can do that. But is DeMar DeRozan a good enough player to lift up your floor also while limiting that floor spacing? The issue is if you got DeMar on the court, you have to build a roster because of his skill set that works around DeMar. The problem is I don't want to work my roster around DeMar DeRozan's skill set. DeMar DeRozan, for me, to win a championship or even to be in a hunt to win a championship needs to be at best your third option. At best. Your third option.
On the Nuggets, he could be the third option on any given night. He would be miles better than KCP.
But he wouldn't work.
Why?
I'm not gonna say Miles. I'm sorry. I just believe I'm just taking DeMar DeRozan over KCP 10 out of.
Now, are you taking him over KCP just from player to player, or are you taking him over KCP considering that system that they run? And the fact that how Joker is able to find guys, not just in space, but how Joker is able to find guys going to the basket. DeMar DeRozan is definitely more of an isolation one-on-one player than he is a guy who plays in action. He's never really been that kind of player. And the fact that when he played with when he played with Kyle Lowry. That's why I remember him as a 2-swiper, because he played in the mid-range. Not only did he play in the mid-range, he played a little bit further from the long ball line, right? So because he did that, the game wasn't like that back then. That's why he was able to play the 2 the way you are today, because the influx of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, they expanded the game, but it wasn't there yet. It's there today.
I agree.
Because it's there today, it makes it more difficult for a guy not to play at the long ball line. But I don't think that DeMar DeRozan doesn't limit. I think that DeMar DeRozan.
But that's why you just move him up a position, because in your back,
Right. They got cooked though by better teams, because DeMar DeRozan was sitting at the 2 with the number 1 option, and they weren't able to get around like LeBron, for instance. That's why it was called LeBronto. Like, he's a really good player. So I think the function of what does it take, and again, this is more so the philosophy. What does it take to build a championship team? You need an elite wing, 1A wing, an elite big, and a very good all-star caliber guard typically to work. I'm saying that you have to have one of those molds, or an anomaly like Steph Curry or Isaiah Thomas surrounded by crazy talent. The problem is DeMar DeRozan isn't an elite wing. He's obviously not a big, and he's not a guard. So the problem is I don't want to sacrifice my roster construction to build around DeMar DeRozan when he's just not good enough to get me to that level. Even at his apex, he wasn't good.
Swiper, I'm not saying build around DeRozan.
At his apex? Whoa. Wait a minute. At his apex?
No, he wasn't good enough for me to do that. No.
Go to
the playoffs. Yeah, no problem. Go to the playoff, cool.
I low-key agree with him. I'm saying if you put DeMar DeRozan as a second and especially a third option, that is a championship caliber team.
Oh, I don't think that he's the best player on your team as a championship.
How does DeRozan and Aaron Gordon work in Denver?
Mars, you play basketball.
I'm asking how
the way.
If that's the case, why don't we could just put a bunch of non-shooters on the court and it just works?
Mars, I'm not saying that.
So I'm asking from a basketball perspective, how does it work?
From a basketball perspective, Mars. So the way Joker works, Aaron Gordon plays in the dunker spot a lot, plays in transition. They don't really run a lot of action for him. So him playing in the dunker spot, we can keep him in that area. Joker is so good that he can create spacing for him. DeMar DeRozan, in the same aspect where he plays in the mid-range, he also plays in transition. He doesn't play as fast, but he plays in transition. And the fact that he plays in the mid-range, that would open up the game even more for guys like Joker and for guys like Aaron Gordon, because you got to honor a guy like DeMar DeRozan in the mid-range around 15 to 19 feet. Now, he doesn't have to play 22, 25 feet away from the basket in order to create space. The space may be limited, but the space is still there. So I think that with Aaron Gordon playing in the dunker spot, Aaron Gordon playing in the mid post, I think that it would work.
So let me just, and Swiper will know the answer to this. So this isn't for him. Where does Jokic operate the most on the court?
He operates well. When I watch him with the most, he operates at the high post.
Where's DeMar DeRozan most effective?
In the mid range.
Where in particular in the mid range?
Mars, he doesn't have to be in his most effective.
I feel like he's the. I feel like
DeMar DeRozan predominantly is at the elbows.
That's what I was about to say, Mars. On the right wing.
How does that work? So you got Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot.
It works by playing somewhere else, Mars.
So you got Aaron Gordon. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, so you got Aaron Gordon in the dunker spot. Jokic on the elbow. DeMar DeRozan can't be in his
on the other elbow. He's on the other elbow.
Okay, so now you got one person on the other elbow. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic are trying to run two-man game with DeMar DeRozan standing on the elbow. Like, you're ruining spacing to fit DeMar DeRozan. He's not worth the hassle you have.
You just do something else.
Swipe.
But the problem with doing something else,
is DeMar DeRozan is not worth the hassle of you having to change your offensive system
it's more
to fit him in.
Way to skin a cat.
And that's fine. I'm not saying that isn't.
And if anybody can do it more, is Mike Malone.
And I'm not arguing that there's ways to make. I'm not arguing that there's no ways to make it work. I'm not arguing that. Swiper's point is, when you have KCP, where it already works because he can space the floor, because he can come off handoff action with Jokic, because he can play on the other side corner where Jokic can hit him with those skip passes, you don't have to change anything. With DeMar DeRozan, you have to change your offensive system that is already a championship level offensive system to try and fit him in. He's not worth trying to fit him. He's not worth that much hassle. He's not worth the effort.
Well, this the thing. This the thing.
That's the
Lamar.
point. That's why
this the
KCP
thing.
is more valuable
So,
as a two guard for a team.
But
like
that's
that.
not because
He's
it's
worth-
not that simple.
Can I also just point out one thing
Okay.
though? Can I point one more thing out too? With DeMar DeRozan, I understand what you're saying, Ox.
I think
Oh,
he's
he's just got to do something else. I mean, that was going to be my thing too. On top of that, why DeMar DeRozan in this argument wouldn't be a better shooting guard option than KCP for specifically the Nuggets. If you remove KCP from the Nuggets, you insert DeMar, not only on offense, now either he gets to his optimal spot where he's best used, or like Ox is saying, oh, he's going to have to do something else. Okay, bet. So now he's not going to be the most effective on offense because you're going to put him somewhere else. Now you're creating another Vando. That's fine, in my opinion. Or you're going to have to go. Hold on.
It's like how Russell Westbrook didn't work on the Lakers. That's what.
Or you're going to have to go out of your
way
way to do things to make it work for him because you're taking him in a position where he's not going to be comfortable on the court. On top of that, you're sacrificing a ton of defense at that very position. It's not like you're replacing KCP with somebody with even similar or kind of the defensive abilities of a KCP. You're getting a negative defender to replace a positive defender and a guy that's not going to fit on your current offense. So you have to switch things to either make him comfortable or make the offense flow right. So either he's going to take a hit or you're going to take a hit. But there's a hit coming from somewhere. I feel like that's like no one is addressing that.
Yeah,
it's
like,
just
I would. That was the point I wanted to get to. But like, he's not worth all this effort. Like, it's like we knew Russell Westbrook wasn't going to work on the Lakers. Why? Because Russell Westbrook is best used with the ball in his hands, creating for other people. But when there's someone else on the roster who is better than you at what you're best used at, you're going to have to be used in a different way. And when you're not as effective as you can be, and you're not providing value in the other areas that someone else could provide, you end up becoming a negative for that team. Russell Westbrook was an all-star caliber player in Washington, but we all knew he wasn't going to work in LA for the same reason I know DeMar DeRozan isn't going to make the Nuggets better than KCP would. Doesn't mean he's worse than KCP, but it's about fit.
Do y'all think if DeMar DeRozan was on the Lakers right now for like Austin Reeves or D'Lo, do you think they would be better?
People were pushing that propaganda. I remember when they were trying to get DeMar DeRozan on the Lakers.
No, I don't like that.
So substitute Reeves or substitute D'Lo.
I don't
like
better.
it.
No, they're worse.
No.
I don't like it.
I think they're better. But or
Why do you think they're better, Ron? Why?
The same reason you think the Nuggets are better. You just play basketball.
Exactly.
I think DeMar DeRozan
figure it out.
DeMar
Exactly.
DeRozan,
We play ball, man. We play ball.
He's a better player than
that's what
Austin
we do.
Reeves.
Instead of worrying why we don't, like why this doesn't work, why we can't do this anymore, then we do something else. We play basketball.
Hey guys, we don't just roll the balls out. It's not that simple.
That's not what I'm saying. Chill.
Figure it out.
That's not what
We have no plan.
I'm not saying
take D'Angelo Russell out of the lineup. Take D'Angelo Russell out of the lineup. Put DeMar DeRozan in the lineup. Let's figure it out. Forget the fact that he doesn't shoot the long ball. He doesn't shoot the long ball like D'Angelo Russell. He doesn't shoot the basketball like D'Angelo Russell. He doesn't handle it like him. So we're taking our best.
Well, the Lakers is different. The Lakers is different. I'm talking about
figure it out. No.
Yes, you figure it out. Yes, that's what you do. You
figure it out. You figure it out with people who are compatible.
No, sometimes coach got to coach. So look, y'all said earlier. I'm trying to remember everything Damo said and what Mar said before that because those were the points I was trying to really hit on. It doesn't. What was it that he said? Okay, so when you get DeMar DeRozan on the team as opposed to KCP, first of all, my biggest thing on that Nuggets team is you got Nikola Jokic. Okay, that's the first thing. Nikola Jokic makes it much easier for everybody else to play because his ability to pass the basketball, his ability to get other people open. That's first and foremost. When you got Nikola Jokic, it makes it a whole lot easier. So it might not be the same for every team, but on this team in particular, it's going to make it a whole lot easier. The fact that you're saying he's not worth changing anything to me is kind of crazy because they won a championship this way, but it doesn't mean that's just the peak of where they can be. They can be better. You know what I'm saying? Like you can play a different way than what you're playing right now and still be better. You know what I'm saying?
DeMar DeRozan make them that.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yes, I think so,
in my opinion, not with
DeMar.
DeMar. That's why we disagree.
I think DeMar DeRozan is better than KCP.
Today, they're a game and a half out of the
being better doesn't mean that.
Put DeMar DeRozan on
I understand that. I understand that.
So that's why we disagree. That's
okay. Well, yeah, but that's because you say what you say, and that's just law.
No, that's not what he's saying.
No, I said why.
Well, let me finish saying what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying just because you're better that you can do it, because once again, like you guys pointed out, which you're 100% correct at, is that I can be better here, but if I'm going to have to play the same way that he's playing, then it might work out better, right? But we can do other things. This is basketball, and everybody knows that all teams don't have to play the same thing. DeMar DeRozan doesn't have to do what KCP does. He can do something else. Now, I'm not Mike Malone. I don't have all the answers, but I'm saying this. My biggest thing is, bro, there's just more than one way to play basketball. I don't got to do all this talking, get all this and that. Like you can do other things, bro. And it's crazy to me to say, oh, well, he's not better because they do this and they do that. Well, yeah. How about you have another player so you stop doing this and do something else? You can be better. You have Nikola Jokic on the team, so the options are damn near unlimited. What we can do. You know what I'm saying?
The options. It's more options with DeMar DeRozan on the floor now
because he can do more things on offense than KCP. Yeah, you can't shoot. I seen somebody in the chat say, "Oh, well, it's not the 90s. You have to have 4 people on the floor that can shoot the ball." That's not true.
That is not true.
That's you look at what basketball looks like with some teams. You feel like, oh, we have to play like them because they won. You don't have to play like them. It's basketball, and I understand a lot of people are programmed to look at it the way what they see it in front of them, but there's just so many different ways to play. There's so many different options you can do. Basketball is this, it's very simple, but it's more complex than just everything you see is how it has to be. We don't have to play like the Warriors. We don't have to play like this team or that team. You can do so many different things, and that's why I'm like, especially the biggest thing is they have Nikola Jokic, so you can put DeMar DeRozan on that team, and you can easily be a better team than you are KCP.
Yo, what's good, Swiper? And then Orry, I know you got a question too, Orry. I'm gonna let Swiper respond to Ox. Orry, I know that you got a question. We'll get to that, and then we got to knock down these super chats. Also, Orry, you have your top 10 all time, right?
Oh, I can come up with it if you'd like.
All right, come up with that right.
Please do.
Oh,
Swiper.
Yeah, I just didn't want to interrupt anyone because I want to respect everyone's opinion. And Ox obviously was felt like he was cooking. I think it smells a little burnt, but I would say this: that
you got to know more to understand certain things. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. It's a bonus MVP talk. So I think some of this is that if you're looking at DeMar DeRozan, the issue comes down to it's not about DeMar; it's about who your best player is. If LeBron James is not at best accentuated by having DeMar on the court, I'm not putting him on the court. Just like they never should have put Russell on the court with him. If Nikola Jokic is not best accentuated by DeMar DeRozan, I'm not even thinking about putting him on the court. Embiid, Luka, any of these players, if you are not making life easier for my player on both ends of the court, because like Michael Malone said in the playoff last year, specialists don't play in the playoffs. That's why Jared Vanderbilt was unplayable versus the Nuggets in that Western Conference final. That's why one-way players typically don't work in later stages, because if you can't do something, if you can't defend, you can't play. If you can't shoot and you can't score, you more than likely cannot play. My whole thing with this is DeMar DeRozan at this point in time in his career to win a championship will have to be an elite level role player. That's what he would be. But my question is, do his skills reflect the best assets and hide the weaknesses of my best player? The answer is no, because he would not help Joel Embiid go from this mark as a second round option to getting into the final, because he just doesn't have the shooting. He doesn't have the pick and roll game. He doesn't have the playmaking, and he doesn't have the defense. If anything, he's going to make life hard on him, similar to how Tobias Harris has. And again, he's better than Tobias. We're all agreeing in a box. DeMar DeRozan is better than KCP and better than Tobias Harris. But he's still not good enough, as Mars has said multiple times, for me to rebuild my roster around my superstar just to bring another guy in because they might be able to score 20 points a game on mid-efficiency. And I think that the thing that you were saying earlier, Chill, is I would never want to crowd the paint for Jokic or for Braun or for any of these players, even Kevin Durant, because I want to give them freedom of movement. DeMar's being on the court limits their freedom of movement. That's the problem. And I don't think defensively that he'd be able to make up enough ground. Because now if I have to play him at the 4, bro, in the West, you got to guard Braun. You got to guard KD. You got to switch on the Carl, on the Ant. You have to switch on the Shea. You wouldn't trust DeMar to do any of that.
This is crazy. And I hear what you're saying, though. I think more so what we have is a difference of philosophy more than anything. It's a difference of philosophy, I believe. I don't really look at it like I need my role players to make it easier for my stars. I'm looking at my stars to make it a little easier for my role players. And that's
that doesn't work. But that doesn't work. That never works.
That's fine. That's fine. If you got a guy that's that good, and see what I'm saying, I'm trying to hold my star players accountable. No.
You know what I'm saying? You're the best when you're the best player out here. You're the leader. When you're the leader and you're the best player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You should be able,
But
especially with the skill set of Jokic.
But name me a time since 15-16 that you didn't build your roster around your best player to accentuate their skill set. Because you couldn't do that for the Warriors in any of those 4 runs that they had.
When has that never been done? When has that ever not been done? You've always done that.
Right. Even Jordan,
always
he had
done
to get a bunch of defenders around him and shoot.
You've always done that. You've built your roster around your best player. You've always done that.
No, so what I'm saying is, yes, you can build your roster, getting role players that do help, like have certain things that whatever, like you just said, Chitchat. But with that being said, I need my star player to be the best player on the court and have the ability to open the game up for players that are less skilled than him. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I look at it. That's how I look at basketball. You know, but like I said, we have a difference of philosophy. You know what I'm saying? I respect what you say.
If you're paying a player $25 million a year to do a job, and that also means they're taking away from other roster spots because of the amount of money that they're making. DeMar DeRozan is going to be making a lot of money. So if he's making that much money and he has these weaknesses, so again, and I think for me, it
just sounds like it's not worth the headache. To be quite honest,
it's just not. That's what I'm saying. It's not worth
what it sounds like.
I think DeMar DeRozan
adding
is
an
better
extra
than y'all
kitchen
think.
to the house.
That's the point I've been trying to make the whole time. He's just not worth the hassle of trying to restart.
It sounds like
I think DeMar DeRozan. I think DeMar DeRozan is better than y'all think DeMar DeRozan is. I think
so. So even as the third option, do we just not care about the fact that he's still a 20-point scorer? That's
the thing, though. That's the thing. When you 20, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let him finish his point.
No. I was just gonna say when you're a 20-point scorer, and yeah, he's not effective from 3, but he's still very efficient, obviously at 2 points. Is there no longer a place for somebody like him in the NBA because of his play style? Is that why his 20 points are kind of valueless?
No, there's a
there's
a place.
That's not
okay.
The conversation was about Denver versus KCP for.
Right.
DeMar's not a 2, so you already replaced him for a 2. Like that, you lost me at that point. Then the other issue is he's making $30 million, so you're trying to.
That's a lot of money we're taking up on the salary.
Like if he wasn't making $30 million, yeah, you can fit him somewhere. But when he's taking up a third of your cap or a fourth of your cap, he's not worth that much.
The last point that
the championship team, he's not worth that much. But there's a place for DeMar DeRozan somewhere, but it wouldn't be for how much he's making, and it wouldn't be in Denver for KCP. That's what
the last point that I'll make, and you just brought up fit. The example that I always go to, Adrian Dantley was better than Mark Aguirre. Mark Aguirre was a better fit for the Detroit Pistons because Adrian Dantley played on the block. He was a ball stopper. Mark Aguirre wasn't. Mark Aguirre did create some space, and Mark Aguirre did play a little bit better in transition. So it worked better playing off of Isaiah Thomas as opposed to Adrian Dantley, who was a ball stopper, who didn't defend very well, who wasn't that good of a rebounder as much as what Mark Aguirre in terms of him being a fit. And he was less of a headache, too. So when you're talking about a guy that's a fit more than you're talking about a guy who's a better player, those two things are not the same thing. So DeMar DeRozan, as good as he is as a player, and I still think that his 20 a game is valued, but if you're putting him in Denver, if you're going to put him in with the Boston Celtics, it's not going to work.
All right, y'all. We got to get into the super chats. Orry, you got your top 10 ready? You still got to think.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
No, I got my top 10. I wrote it down. I will let you guys know this is a fluent list. I'm always up to debate anybody on the category because new arguments happen every day. New logic happens every day. I'm willing to hear it all. But nonetheless, top 10 NBA players. Number 1, Michael Jordan.
So not 1. Okay, nice.
Yeah. I started them. 1 is Jordan.
1.
2 is LBJ, LeBron.
Okay.
3 is Kareem, because this list is not very controversial. 4, I have Bill Russell, which is where I tend to get all the hatred. 5, Magic Johnson. 6, Shaquille O'Neal. 7, Larry Bird. 8, Tim Duncan. 9, Kobe Bryant. And 10, Steph Curry. That is the
I
current.
like Bill Russell, man. I like
That
Bill
is the
Russell.
current iteration. Yeah, Bill Russell. I'm a Bill Russell truther, man. I just love that guy, and I tell you, like his impact, being the best defender and arguably the best defensive team in a era that called for that in order to win. Just it means a lot, especially considering he did it 11 times, I guess. So it's hard for me to devalue what he did.
Where did you have Larry
I
Bird?
love that.
7.
7. I have Larry 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that.
That's what I got. That's what I got Bird at.
Yeah, I mean, I heard there's probably only one pushback I would have. Everything else is fine.
LeBron at 1?
No.
Okay, good. Nice.
Yeah, we'll see. Like the LeBron at 1, the Michael Jordan at 1 thing. Like the only argument I don't want to hear is that either one of them clear each other, because that to me is the only thing that's ridiculous. If I feel like
You could don't even look like. Don't look at that. Hey, Damo, I will jump through the screen on you. I swear to God, I will. Don't make me jump through the screen and put you in a chokehold.
MJ ain't need PEDs, man.
I mean,
I think that's the argument. I feel like there's no, like if you say that one truly clears the other, that you're not taking enough things into consideration, because they're just so close. They're just so different. They're so different.
Damo, I will say this though, Damo, and I'm declaring it today on Player's Choice. If I watch LeBron James put on a Golden State Warriors uniform, I'm out. I'm telling y'all right now, I'm out.
That is true. That is true.
So all of a sudden he's not the GOAT no more?
I'm out.
Yes, that's how it works.
I'm telling you that right now, Mars.
Everything he's done just gets undone by
I am out. OUT.
At that point, I'm revising my list again, and I'm putting Kareem at 1.
I'm out.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'll do that. I don't think he'd do that. That's why I'm not out. That's why I'm not worried about that, because I don't think he'd do that.
So if Bronny got drafted by the Warriors and LeBron joined them, he's not the GOAT because he wanted to play with his son.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. But I mean, I guess the 20 years of hard work and dedication
Would they do that?
undone
Would they
because
do
he wanted
that?
to play with his son.
Would they do that?
Yes.
They probably would. They probably would.
I can't. I will not watch LeBron James put on a Golden State Warrior jersey and get with Steph Curry. I can't do it, yo. I'm out.
I guess. Yeah, that just means he isn't the best player to ever exist because of what he did at 40 years old. Ignore everything he did at 28. Just ignore it. Yeah.
I will. Hell yes, I will. Because he's still at this point. One, he's still competing for championships, and in addition to him competing for championships,
allegedly LeBron James. Allegedly.
Who's competing for championships?
I didn't say that they were winning. I said that they
who's competing? What is competing?
Competing is being in the playoffs, competing for the NBA championship.
There was a playoffs.
They was in the Western Conference Championship last year.
Finals, man.
They was in the Western Conference Championship last year. But with that being said,
that was a year ago. I can't use the past. I was told in this conversation.
If I'm not mistaken, they were the 7th seed last year going into the playoffs. 7, I think they were. So with that being said,
I hope they do it, because that means I hope they do. I hope they take down the Thunder, and I would love to see that.
With that being said,
shout out to LeBron, man. Who
not yet,
you can move down the GOAT list at 40 years old. I never knew you could move backwards.
Well, one, he's not 40. Number 2, he's still number 1. He's not 40, and number 2,
he will be
Jordan,
next season.
Actually, Jordan,
when he would join the Warriors. So.
Actually, Jordan did, and when he joined the Warriors, he'd still be 39 years old. Focus, Mars.
For 2 months,
he wouldn't be 40 years old. But that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is that still competing for the NBA championship, still competing at a high level. Bird would not get on the Celtics. I mean,
Bird was out of the league already because he had a bad.
He wouldn't do that. When he was on his way,
he didn't have a kid. Bird didn't have a child coming in.
Yeah, Bird didn't have the opportunity to play with his son.
If he did have I'm 100% confident if Bird had the opportunity to play with his son, he would not put on a Laker uniform. Bird would not do that. No way would Bird do that.
Okay, they're different. I don't mean LeBron's not the GOAT.
I got to get to these super chats, y'all. I got to get to these super chats, but LeBron will be playing for the Golden State Warriors at the start of next season. Y'all brace yourself for it.
No way. And I'm a James guy. All y'all know me. I watch him put on the Warriors uniform. I'm out, yo.
Tito El Bandito said all-time 6th man of the year team or all-time most improved of the year team. Killer Mars, Damo, you guys want to knock this out? One of y'all?
6th man of the year.
Who is that? James Harden, Manu Ginobili, John Havlicek.
All time.
Bill
Jamal
Walton.
Crawford.
Detlef Shrimp at the 4.
And Bill Walton at the 5.
And Bill Walton at
Are we
the 5.
taking them all in their prime or the year they won it? Because if
That's
it's all
how
in
I
that,
was
if it's all in
very
their prime,
different
if it's all in their prime,
conversation.
the 6 man of the year team can win. But if it's at the time they won it, they have no chance.
Right.
So we're doing all in their prime.
Manu
Anyways,
carrying that squad. They winning, Mars.
James Harden, Manu, John Havlicek, Detlef Shrimp, and Bill Walton versus. I don't keep track of the most improved.
What was the last one?
The ones I can think of, the ones I can think of for real. Giannis won one. I know Kevin Love won one, and I'm thinking recent, and I don't want to do recency bias, so I'm trying to pull up a list of award winners.
Paul George won it.
Well, remember, Ja won it. He gave it
T-Max
to
won it.
Desmond.
T-Max won it.
Jesse McGrady won it.
Well,
I'm naming like all the players who I think would be.
You don't got to name no more. It's okay.
Yeah, most improved players. If
You
you
don't got to name no
Ja at the 1, Tracy
Jimmy
McGrady
Butler
at
won
the 2, Paul George at the 3.
Giannis
Hey, Love at the 4.
Giannis at the 4.
Giannis at the 4. Then we can get a new center. It's up to y'all, but I think this team clears. I'm not gonna lie.
Jimmy starting. Giannis got to run that 5.
only player over there that can get with Manu.
Who Bucket's starting over? He ain't starting over Paul George, and he ain't starting over. He's not starting over Tracy McGrady or Paul
Jimmy
George.
Butler. Jimmy Butler not better than Paul George. Jimmy Butler not better than Paul George.
I don't think so. No.
For me, he's starting over Kevin Love.
That is a debate.
Got his team to
Is
2
it?
NBA finals. I mean,
Is it a debate?
I don't
Let
know.
me-
Hey, Damo, the most important thing is ain't none of them better than Manu.
And we're talking about at their
That's
prime.
fine.
And we're talking about the best version of Jimmy Butler. Is he better than 2018, 2019 Paul George?
The one that lost in the first round.
Yes, that dude.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes, obviously, yes.
So he is better than him. Okay.
It's obviously
No, it is not obviously Jimmy Butler.
I mean, Choke has about production. What did
I
MVP Paul George produce in the playoffs?
Nothing.
More than that.
Zero.
he do,
What did
bro.
Jimmy Butler
Zero.
do? Finals appearance twice,
Took his team
3
to
conference
the
finals
NBA.
appearance in 4 years.
Chat, tell me how Jimmy is better. I don't want to take up too much time because Ron got hella super chats to read. Just chat, please tell me how Jimmy Butler is a better basketball player than Paul George.
It's the finals appearances. You're welcome. Finals appearances.
That's
All right, thank
that's,
you, Mark.
that's huge.
Austerity said, I thought MJ would struggle in today's league until I watched the 1992 playoff run. His athleticism and shot making from mid range was insane, in my opinion.
Why would you ever think
He'll be
Why would you
DeMar
ever think he
DeRozan.
was
He'll be
strong?
DeMar DeRozan. Whatever. He'll be DeMar DeRozan.
That's what everyone says. Yeah, it's so funny.
I just hate that DeMar DeRozan. And Mars is doing that because he's trolling.
That's what I hear all the time. It's from
He's
people who are
trolling because
nine
it's true, though.
9 years old, but that's what people
No,
say.
but it's
Because
not
it's
true.
true.
Not true.
No, I'm
That's
saying
what
it's
they
true,
say.
but no. I'm saying it's true because people say it. It's true because people say it. He's right that people say that a lot.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, Ron, send him to him.
I
Yeah,
think that's true.
no. I've heard a lot of people say DeMar DeRozan.
Damo, nobody
MJ
asked
would
you,
be.
Damo.
I was just commenting. I do think it's true. I think it-
What do you think about the recent stuff where people are comparing?
Damo, you
SGA
think Jordan is DeMar DeRozan?
I think if DeMar DeRozan cut his hair and wore 23, it'd be like this summer when everyone's seen Ronnie Hollis Jefferson shooting
thought it was
left-handed
cold.
jumpers and thought it was cold. I think that's what will
I'm
happen.
sick of your shit. I'm sick of your
Tired
shit,
of it.
Damo.
Tired
All
of
right,
it, yo.
all right, y'all. It's Mr. GQ to you said, cook them, Swiper. Stop letting them silence your Jokic takes. Jokic dropped 32, 16, and 16 on the Warriors and silence. Cook they ass. 21
points.
little oxtail.
What 21 points? What you talking about?
You guys lost by 21.
Oh, okay. Whatever. So,
Hey, James, you keep making that face with the glasses. Yo, you look like that for real. Like, why do you keep making that face with the glasses when you talk about me? That's what you look like for real, B.
Yo, that's
Now it's James B. Oh,
I've
it
actually
was
seen
Brad
you before.
Spuddy, and now
No,
James
no,
B.
no, James B. I'm not gonna lie. James B. This whole week has been killing me, and he.
Damn, he actually looked like that in real life. I seen this dude.
That's cold.
What the hell?
Yo, we got a couple new members. We got Huncho, aka Luncho. He's a new member. Y'all welcome Luncho back to the table. Easy MB became a new member as well. Shout out to Easy MB. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Appreciate Hoop Social for jumping on. Thanks, Orry. Mars, were you aware that Open Gym is on playback today?
Yeah, every Friday we do half the show on YouTube and half the show on playback. We do that every
Oh,
single
okay.
week.
Well, Cheerio pointed that out in the chat as well. So now you know that open gym.
Hi, Claire. How are you?
Nah, El Claire, man. El Claire. I've been trying to do playback streams, but whatever. We move.
So Honey Nut Cheerios.
No, Claire hold you up. She hold you back.
Yeah, every day I'm messaging her. Can I do this game? Can I do this game? Oh, sorry, we got something. We got something. Well,
Why is she trying to censor you, Mars?
I don't know. I've got like, I do like the least amount of playback games. I don't know what it is. Gotta be Xenophobia.
She's sure be letting Dub get on playback and spread.
Dub be doing playback every day. I be seeing Jalen's face 2 times a day. I don't know why.
Can we focus? Ron,
Wait, you do the least amount of playbacks compared to who?
Everyone else I be seeing on playback.
We going off the rails.
I get scraps of playback scheduling. I get the absolute trimmings of playback scheduling, buddy. What?
Mars, how does it feel to be on the second unit behind Jalen and Dub? Well, that'd make you thirsty.
It's ridiculous, man.
That would not make him first. That would not make him second unit.
I'm out here begging.
That would make him on the third string.
And she'll offer me like 1 game every 2 weeks. Like, whatever, man.
It's about balance, Mars. You can't play all your best.
Actually, put that question back up, Ron. I want to hear this.
Brian Holiday said, Mars. Arsenal question. Do you think Havertz, that's how you say his name, Havertz, has been a good signing?
Yeah, he's been all right. I mean, 60 million or whatever. So, I mean, it's not my money.
Where'd you get him from, Mars?
Chelsea. So, London rivals. But
you said 60 mil, Mars? 60 mil?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a whole lot of.
I don't think he's that. I don't think he's that good, but I mean, Arteta's made him work. So I guess he's been all right. But if we go out, if we're out the Champions League, then I don't care. He's a terrible signing.
All right. Adam Eden said, "Great ambassador for the league." If you asked Orry how a chick looked, he would definitely tell you how great her personality is. Is this true, Orry?
I like that one.
Oh, that's because I said Jalen Brown was a great ambassador for the league. And I think that is. He is though. I think it's 100% accurate. I think he's an incredible ambassador.
He's one of the. I love Jalen Brown. Jalen always has my respect. He's one of the foremost voices on when it comes to Black economic policy changes in Boston and all that kind of stuff. He's committed a large portion of his salary to helping to fix and eradicate the wealth income disparity in Boston between Black and white residents and empowering Black businesses and stuff. He was one of the loudest athletes in 2020 with Malcolm Brogdon. Oh yeah, that's easy.
Yes.
That's no
you know what I really like.
All of that, but can't dribble with his left hand.
What I really like, Swiper, was when he went and played in the Big Three. I really like that from Jalen Brown when he went and played in the Big Three. That was a fire move.
And on top of that, Orry, just so you know, some of the most beautiful women, when they open their mouth, they look like they got hit in the face with a frying pan. So I'm good on the look. Get that out of here. I'm straight.
That's it. Personality is what matters anyway, right? Personality is what keeps.
I can think of a better ambassador, but it's neither here nor there.
It's Mr. GQ who said, "Yo, Lil Ox, you hype the Kings?" 21-point blowout. Stand on your baby nuts.
Baby nuts.
Oh my God.
Say his name. Jokic.
Oh my God.
Don't leave out, Goofy, the fact that De'Aaron Fox didn't play in that game. Why you talking like they just had their whole crew? No, they didn't. Their best player wasn't even on the floor, Goofy.
Chill.
Now Fox the best player on the team.
You play who's healthy, chill. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we lost.
One was there in MVP conversations.
Look, I don't care if De'Aaron not there. I don't care if Malik not there. I don't care.
I don't like leaving out stuff like that.
We need to win back. We got to win basketball games. Because
I'm 100% confident.
Yeah, facts. When the Lakers beat the Clippers, as long as we mentioned Paul George weren't there, man, I wouldn't.
Right.
I'm not making no excuses. We got popped and we got to win those basketball.
Right, they do.
At least Sabonis kept his double streak.
That means absolutely nothing to me, Marsh. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, it meant
something. It's cool to point out. It's cool to point out, like amongst just because he's in a rare conversation right now. Like it's cool to point out, but I don't give a shit if we lose.
Yo,
I got a bad for Sabonis, man.
I got a few super chats from Duck that we got to acknowledge. He said Braun with 2016 Warriors is better. I think with the playmaking, Braun has and Curry shooting off the ball. I don't see any team beating them. Also, Luka for MVP.
So what shots is LeBron creating for Steph that wouldn't be created by Draymond Green?
Well, the fact that he could shoot the basketball, which means they got to crowd him more than they had to crowd. They had to crowd.
They're not
Draymond
crowding him
Green.
off of Steph Curry though.
They're crowding him off of somebody.
Yeah, not Steph. He said creating shots for Steph. That's my. What shots is LeBron creating for Steph? That he would Draymond Green wouldn't.
Well, first of all, you're gonna
they're
have,
not. If he drives and kicks, they're not helping off Steph Curry.
well,
So
you're gonna have.
he's not creating.
You will have defenders who are dumb enough.
They
to do
weren't.
that.
I promise they weren't. They weren't.
You have had that. Latest white.
Merry
All
Christmas.
right, y'all. I gotta go do
Take it
lockdown
easy,
nuggets,
guys.
y'all. Y'all my people, man. I'll see y'all
Later.
Monday, man. Appreciate y'all, bro.
We'll see you back. We'll see you back Monday, brother. All right. Absolutely. I'm sorry, Ron.
Duck also followed up and said, I agree and think the Nuggets smoked the Celtics, but Swiper's argument is cheeks, LOL. Also, Mars right. Sabonis not in MVP conversations. Y'all be saying everyone.
Well, duh. Of course he's not.
I
Not
guess.
to him, though.
I
mean,
just
he
said
could be
so.
on
I
the
just said
ladder.
so. I said show him the respect he deserves. I didn't say make him the MVP.
Yeah. Show him the respect he deserves, man. Top 6 big men in the NBA.
And when he says top 6, he means number 4.
I mean, 6th at best.
Alan L said, Dub with a better beard. What's up?
All
For
right.
sure a better beard. For sure a better beard.
Or what did you mean when you said he has fun takes? I was listening to that. I wasn't here.
Oh, that's just it. He is. I see that he has a lot of charisma and he has a lot of like I don't know.
He's
fun
about to
takes.
go. He's
That's
about
where
to go
put
on playback and compare Luka to Magic Johnson. I'm tired of this shit.
I won't get dog. I mean,
That's
Mars.
now to me. That sounds.
Don't get
fun.
involved in that, Ox. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, Dub's shown up on my For You page on TikTok a few times. He's just now he's in his major just hating on people back.
And he's been on that for years.
No, but now he's brought it to bro. He didn't bring it to TikTok.
What did he say about
He's trying to
what
monetize it now. Now he's trying to
did he say about
monetize it.
Kareem last year? What did he say about Kareem last year? He was
He was
the
overrated.
We don't
He a
need to
fraud.
He's a fraud. He's a fraud. Yeah,
a
he's a fraud.
fraud. He called Kareem a fraud. I'm tired of this shit. And
And they
Claire
tried to
gonna keep
justify
letting
it.
him do it on playback.
Yeah, but guess what? Dub won't get the most playback streams of anyone because I guess that's just what we want. Yeah, man.
All right,
Me,
so
I
I got
got
a
a
couple
bag.
more. I
Go
got a
ahead,
couple
Ron.
more.
Go ahead, Ron.
Avery B said, why are the Spurs so bad when Wemby is already playing so well defensively? Lower winning percentage than last year.
because he can't carry the squad. I told y'all this
They're
3
bad.
hours
Yeah, there's
ago.
still other people on the court to play defense
Right,
that
they
aren't
like to use
suffice.
him.
Like,
Right. And they have
can't
no
guard
incentive
5
to win
people.
right now.
And their
They
offense
have
is
no
really
incentive
bad.
to win right now. Like, what's their incentive? They might as well try to keep building around Wemby. I mean, there's no incentive to be better than they are at this point.
Styles Blackman with the last super chat of the day. Seems to be a lie, but I got to read it because it's my job. He said Ron was too busy bothering Ox on his stream. That's why he was late. He told you to go get ready to be an L host.
Did you tell him that? So he knew
Yes,
where he had
I
to
told him
be,
that.
Ox. So he knew he had to be to practice. And practice started at a certain time. And you told him, yo, you gotta get ready for practice. And he's still out there BS.
Yo, chill town. I'm streaming no snooze button like I do every Monday and Friday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Just like
Right.
I do every Monday and Friday morning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He over here
Well-
playing with me. I'm like, bro, don't you got somewhere to be, L
Don't you got something to do? Don't you got somewhere to be? That's
That
your
wasn't
man,
me.
Ox.
That
That is
wasn't
your man, Ox. Get your
That
man
wasn't- hey,
back, Ox.
No face, no case. That wasn't me.
That's
They
your
can
man.
see you
Ox.
in the mirror.
Run the stream back. That wasn't me. Hey, look, that was a doppelganger and stuff. Yo,
This is what we do around here,
with
Orry.
dreads.
This is the family.
Hey,
This is what we got going on
Hey,
around
Orry,
here. Welcome
Orry,
to the
I
where you
love
live
it.
at?
I love
Orry,
it.
Where you live at?
I love it.
Orry, where
You
you
guys are
from?
great. I am from Maine, of all places.
You're from Maine? Okay, I was gonna ask.
How you feel about
Hey.
Cooper Flag? How you feel about Cooper Flag?
Cooper Flag is my wife was actually his substitute teacher.
I don't know why.
I
thought
never
he was
asked
about
that
to say-
question. We never would have found out about it.
Yo, I did. That's like he was about to say. That's my wife's cousin. I'm like the main event. I thought, oh, man, I
Yeah.
know what I was doing.
How you gonna leave that out?
No. He lives 2 towns over, which in Maine is like a throw the rock away.
Right.
So he's been super hype. Everybody in Maine's losing their mind, just hoping that he becomes, because obviously you look at the list of Maine basketball players and
Is there a
it's
list?
pretty
Little
insignificant.
thin?
No,
Little-
there's
Or
no-
Ori's probably like number 4 on that list. Like that's,
Look,
that's
I was the 3 no D guy. So
That's like
So,
but it's so funny seeing the hype train for that guy. Like Maine is losing it. You know, all 1 million of us are right behind Cooper Flag.
As y'all should be.
Yeah, 1 million is a lot of people, man.
Chat, y'all showing y'all racism in the chat
All right,
right now.
so-
Cooper Flag is
Straight.
like that. Stop being racist.
straight racist.
Just racist.
Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Open Gym is not next. It's now. Make sure you go over there. They will be on playback. A little later tonight, it will be Chill and JD on playback watching the Mavs and the Celtics. Y'all be sure to tap in. We will be back on Monday with crazy agendas to push.
This is
So you guys
terrorist
tap in.
coaching. Do
Thank you,
something
Orry.
about it.